Chapter 1048, Elder's Hall. The moment Fang Ping defeated third elder, ninth elder, who was preparing to cultivate, suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze seemed to penetrate through all obstacles, looking in the direction of the lake of eternal. "What's wrong?" the ninth elder murmured. Was the old man about to wake up? The third elder was his master. He had been asleep for a very, very long time. Was he going to wake up now? Elder Joe was not happy. Instead, he frowned. Now that the sect master and the others had just left, it was finally his turn to be the sect master of Mount Luofu. Now, he was also preparing for a big plan. Now that his master had come out of seclusion, it was not a good thing. Is he waking up, or is his lifespan about to run out? The ninth elder murmured. In the next moment, he stood up and walked out of the training room. Looking in that direction, once more, the aura of his master, who he could still sense in the past, was now shockingly weak. The ninth elder frowned again. Was he going to die? It didn't really matter if he died. However, at this juncture, a true god of Luofu Mountain had fallen, and the great Tao had collapsed. It might cause some trouble, and it would also attract the attention of some people to Luofu Mountain. I can't die now, and I can't leave seclusion either. Thinking of this, the ninth elder stepped into the air and quickly rushed in that direction. He had to focus on something. Who? Fang Ping exhaled inwardly. That was close. I almost ran into him. This won't do. That old man's mental strength won't last long. Once he dies, this guy will immediately react. Fang Ping frowned. Should he follow this ninth elder and look for an opportunity to assassinate him? Or should he go to the Hall of Elders to take a look? Qin Yaoding had come. There was an expert in the Elder Hall. Fang Ping actually had some ideas. To the Elder Hall. Fang Ping made up his mind. Over there, ninth elder would not rush in to check. Would he? If they were really exposed, then they would just have to kill them. Fang Ping made up his mind. Ninth elder's departure was a good thing. Without Elder Jiu keeping watch, Fang Ping sped up and entered the Hall of Elders in the blink of an eye. He had already sensed the aura of the two level 9 experts. The other party was guarding something. Deep inside the compound, there was some obstruction. Fang Ping's senses were a little blurry. However, Fang Ping saw it very soon. In the small courtyard, a thin woman sat cross-legged on the ground. His clothes had long been dyed red with blood. At this moment, the two rank 9s outside the door were still asking questions. Tell me Fang Ping's secret, and you'll suffer less. If this goes on, you won't be able to hold on for more than a day. Your body will collapse, and your spiritual sense will shatter. That's right, Mississippi. Even if you don't tell us Fang Ping's secret, it's not really a secret if you tell us some things about humans. But us two brothers can also explain it to the elder, and you can also avoid some pain. One of them had a red face while the other had a white face. One was interrogating while the other was exhorting. The person who advised her sighed and said, or perhaps I should say something about your life. Young lady, you are still young. Your parents and brothers should still be alive. Now that the elders are not here, this old man also had a daughter who was about the same age as you. What a pity. Sigh. The man sighed and said, tell this old man. You can divert some of the pain. This old man is doing his best to suppress the formation. This is the only thing this old man can do. Qin Yun, another person berated. Once the elders find out, Destiny, how will the elders find out if you don't tell them? Back then, my daughter died. You saw it for yourself. This young lady is still young. This old man did not let her go. I only wanted to ease some of her pain. You and I have been brothers for many years. Are you going to tell on me even for this? Destiny frowned and quickly snorted. Be careful. If the elders find out, it'll be troublesome. Also, Chun Yunshi, you better tell us more. That way, we will have an excuse to say that we are interrogating you for information. Chun Yunshi opened her eyes. The tiredness in her eyes intensified. Hearing that, she said softly, "Thank you both for your kindness. Since the two of you have treated me so well, then I will say a few words." Chun Yunshi pondered for a moment and said slowly, "My life is very short. There is nothing worth writing about. Since that elder of yours wants to know Fang Ping's secret, then I will say a few things. Fang Ping actually doesn't like me at all. He has someone he loves. It's a pity that he can't talk about it." Chun Yunshi smiled bitterly. "It's useless for you to capture me. I'm not trying to absolve myself. Since I'm here, I have no plans to go back. But I don't want to die just like this. I don't want to let that be asterisk TCH. Have it easy." Chun Yunshi's eyes were cold. "Fang Ping, the person you love is not on Earth. In the catacombs. A woman of extremely high status. A woman who has risked her life for Fang Ping multiple times. A woman who will never be accepted by humans. Ji Yao. If you really understand Fang Ping and Ji Yao, then you should know that the two of them have worked together many, many times. Fang Ping has let Ji Yao go time and time again. Ji Yao has also let Fang Ping go time and time again. She even helped him grow when he needed it the most. Both of them were stunned. Ji Yao, was it real or fake? They knew this person. She was the granddaughter of Destiny Royal Court's Life King, Ji Hong's daughter. Now, she was also the Ji family spokesperson in Destiny Royal Court. Fang Ping actually liked Ji Yao. These two people were related. In the air, Fang Ping, who was about to attack, suddenly smirked. "What did you not learn? You learned how to fool people. Deserve to be hit." Looking at the vitality and mentality that were overflowing in the courtyard, Fang Ping's eyes regained their coldness. In the next moment, Fang Ping suddenly appeared behind the two stunned people. Both of them knew nothing. Inside the door, Chun Yunshi was facing him. She saw everything clearly, but she was indifferent. She continued, "You can choose not to believe me, but if you investigate carefully, you will definitely find some clues. Once you capture Ji Yao, you will know how anxious Fang Ping is. Also, at this point, I want to tell you a secret." "What?" Chun Yunshi suddenly smiled brightly. Her smile made the two of them confused. "Fang Ping actually doesn't like women. I was lying to you just now. He likes men." Having said that, she even flashed a cheeky smile. Both of them were stunned again. Then they felt a little angry. Just as they were about to lose their temper, someone patted them from behind. Under the horrified gazes of the two, their bodies were smashed into pieces like mud. "I like men," Fang Ping said helplessly. "Stupid girl, you've learned to spread rumors." "The truth." Chun Yunshi smiled. "I always feel that you and Brother Wang and the others have an improper relationship. You deserve to be hit." Fang Ping smiled bitterly. "You're already like this, and you're still talking nonsense. That's why I said it." Chun Yunshi stood up slowly, panting. "Don't save me. If we break this formation now, that person will sense it. Pretend to be one of them and tell them that I've revealed Fang Ping's secret. That powerhouse will be interested. Ambush him." "Right, can you kill him?" "Yes." "Then ambush him." Chun Yunshi walked to the door and looked at Fang Ping. There was a faint smile in her eyes. "I won't die yet. I can even hold on for a day. Just save me in a day. If the ambush doesn't work, then go back first. If I die, just avenge me. Also, let me ask you, do you like men or women?" Fang Ping was speechless. He threw the two fellows who were almost crippled to the ground. "Pay attention to something important. This is very important. Women." "That'll do." Chun Yunshi smiled brightly. "Go. Kill him if you're confident. Just call him Elder. Also, don't eavesdrop on me next time. I'm not eavesdropping. Fong Ping laughed. He killed one of them with one palm and instantly transformed it into his aura. Then hold on for a while. I'll come and get you after I destroy Mount Luofu, Fong Ping said, then asked, Have you cried? No. You're a tough guy. You're the tough guy. Chen Yunqi scolded him with a smile. I'm a weak woman. It hurts a lot. You're not leaving yet. You're making me suffer on purpose. You're so mean. I saw you smiling so happily. I thought you weren't in pain, Fong Ping said, and turned to leave. As he walked, he said, Suffering is a blessing. Next time, you should stay in Magic City. Let's see if you dare to run around. It's easy if you want to become stronger. When we get to Magic City, I'll help you achieve a golden body. Got it. You're still not leaving. Are you trying to piss me off? I'm leaving. Fong Ping's silhouette flashed. His clothes changed rapidly, and so did his appearance. After he left, Chen Yunqi fell to the ground. She looked at Qin Yun, who was still alive, and chuckled. See, your nightmares are here. He's singing a two-man show with me. He hasn't gone out for thousands of years. His brain must be flooded with water. He's so good at fooling people. I've been watching how he fooled people. How could he be fooled by idiots like you? It's a pity he came early. Otherwise, he might be able to watch a big show. Do you think that stupid elder of yours will go and capture Ji Yao? If he did, then it wouldn't be in vain for me to come up with a story for the past few days. Qin Yun's eyes widened, but he did not make a sound. At this moment, he was only left with a trace of mentality, preserving his aura. Seeing this, Chen Yunqi panted, I can't say it anymore. I'll piss you off. If you die of anger and your aura is extinguished, he'll be in trouble. But after he kills that elder of yours, I'll piss you off again, okay? Hee, a muffled throaty sound could be heard. I won't say any more. You guys are too weak. Chen Yunqi ignored him. She looked outside the courtyard door, a smile still on her face. He was here. Even if she did not expect him to come, the moment he appeared in front of her, she felt that he was the only one in the world. Pain. It was nothing. He said he liked women. I'll remember that. In the Hall of Elders. Fong Ping's aura exploded. There was no smile on his face, only coldness. 70% of Chen Yunqi's mentality had been burned. Completely burned. Her vitality was almost completely burned away. Fong Ping knew that this kind of pain was more painful than self-detonating mentality. That was because his mentality had been burned once before. It was a light touch, but he was in unbearable pain. It was hard to imagine that Chen Yunqi, who had burned 70% of her mentality, could still smile. You're braver than I thought. It's a pity. I'm weaker than you think. In this 3 realms, I'm still not the strongest. Not to the point where everyone fears me like a demon. But this time, it's time for me to be a demon. At this moment, 9th Elder's aura flashed in the distance. Fong Ping's aura exploded. 9th Elder could not care less about 3rd Elder's situation. Destiny's aura suddenly exploded. Something urgent must have happened. Did Chen Yunqi say something? Or was she dead? In the next moment, 9th Elder's figure appeared in the distance. The coldness on Fong Ping's face dissipated instantly, turning into anxiety. He could not wait to rush over, but he dared not. Elder, an immensely anxious shout rang out. 9th Elder landed immediately and appeared in front of him. He frowned and asked, What happened? Elder, Fong Ping was so anxious that he seemed to be unable to speak. In the next moment, he suddenly turned around and pointed to the depths of the Hall of Elders, saying anxiously that 9th Elder snorted coldly. He stopped asking and leaped over Fong Ping to see for himself. Fong Ping seemed to have expected such a reaction from him. The moment he leaped over Fong Ping, the god-slaying saber was in his hand. This time, Fong Ping did not say a word. He was as silent as a dead man. He swung the saber. Fast, ruthless, accurate. It was done in one go. The hand holding the saber was as steady as a mountain. Fong Ping had never been so confident. I can shatter his golden body with one slash. I'm that strong. Strong enough to make people tremble, to make people fear, to make people not dare to provoke Fong Ping anymore. The void shattered. Ninth Elder was terrified. At this moment, his first reaction was to concentrate all his strength under his feet. Run. He had been closed in by a top-notch powerhouse. Moreover, he had closed in when he was defenseless. Could he escape now? This slash, Fong Ping, was extraordinarily strong. It was too steady, so steady that his control of strength had improved. Boom! An earth-shattering roar came from Ninth Elder's head. In the next moment, his head exploded like a watermelon. Fong Ping's saber did not stop at all. With a crash from top to bottom, his golden body was sliced in half. At this moment, the saber's aura overflowed. With a boom, the front hall of the Hall of Elders exploded into powder. Everyone in the front hall, no matter how strong they were, was crushed into powder at this moment. Fong Ping did not say a word. He did not verbally attack the other party. Almost at the same time, the second slash followed like a shadow, slashing toward the spirit body that had just appeared. Kacha! His mental power was instantly destroyed into a mess. A top-notch powerhouse who was not much weaker than him had ambushed him with a divine weapon. Something like this had never happened since ancient times, because no one of the same rank could get close without concealing it. Fong Ping. His golden body was slashed, his mentality destroyed, but Fong Ping did not have any intention of underestimating the other party. At this moment, Fong Ping broke into the other party's origin Dao. In the other party's moment of extreme fear, he slashed again. At the same time, Fong Ping's origin world appeared, colliding with the other party's origin world with a boom. Crack! Both parties' origin worlds were cracking. Fong Ping, on the other hand, slashed 100 times in one go. With a crack, he severed the other party's Dao. Fast, so fast that it could not be any faster. From start to finish, in the blink of an eye, not even a second. This was even faster than the ambush on Third Elder earlier. At this moment, Fong Ping withdrew his origin. His mentality erupted, sweeping in all directions, gathering the mentality fragments one by one. He grasped them and forcefully pressed them into the golden body that was about to turn into a pulp of flesh. The other party's golden body was still recovering. Fong Ping's god-slaying saber struck again. One slash after another. He obliterated the other party's imperishable substance, constantly obliterating it. It was too fast. Ninth Elder let out a beast-like roar. In the distance, some powerhouses noticed the commotion and rushed over. Fong Ping did not care about them. Again and again. Very soon, scarlet blood flowed out of the golden body. The imperishable substance was obliterated. When a desperate situation bled red blood, it meant that it had reached its limit. At this moment, Fong Ping said, "Don't worry, you won't die so quickly. This time, the headquarters will torture you to death in front of all the powerhouses in the 3 realms. I'll let you know what a demon is. Don't even think about running. You won't be able to escape. You can't even self-destruct." Fong Ping sneered. His palm grew bigger, grabbing him. Crack, crack. He almost squeezed the other party into a meatball. Fong Ping held the meatball in his hand and said lightly, "So weak. Is this the Luofu mountain that I'm cautious of?" Looks like you're going to be annihilated today. Having said that, Fong Ping's mentality erupted instantly. He did not kill, did not intimidate. Instead, he formed a wall and flew in all directions. He wanted to seal off the Luofu Mountain and annihilate them. Not a single one of them could escape. Was it because Fong Ping, was too weak, or was it because they were too daring? They dared to capture anyone. This time, the attack was smoother than he had expected. Not only was the sneak attack successful, but he also preserved the other party's life. This was the biggest success. Maybe this time, it's time to let you understand what it means to be afraid. Fong Ping's mentality emerged continuously. He did not care about anyone. He just sealed off the world. Annihilation. This was the end of the three realms. Elder, what happened? Destiny, what are you doing? Roars came one after another. The Luofu Mountain that had been peaceful for many years was in chaos. The Hall of Elders was suddenly destroyed, and the Elder's aura seemed to be coming from the meatball in Destiny's hand. Fong Ping ignored them. His mentality emerged faster and faster. Very soon, Fong Ping completed the seal. Of course, he could not seal off a 1,000-mile stretch of land, but at least the area within a few dozen miles was completely sealed off by him. Until now, someone landed near Fong Ping. Looking at Fong Ping, he said with a face full of shock and anger, "Destiny, where's the elder?" Fong Ping's expression began to change. He tossed the meatball in his hand and smiled, faintly. "Isn't he here? Also call me King Run." After saying that, Fong Ping ignored these extremely stunned and terrified Luofu Mountain martial artists and walked toward the back of the hall. "King Run, no. Elder, run." Everyone was panic-stricken. They were all afraid. That was Fong Ping. Fong Ping had actually killed his way to Luofu Mountain. Moreover, Ninth Elder had actually been crushed into a meatball by him without much movement. Now, he was playing with him in his hand. It was too terrifying. The Luofu Mountain powerhouses fled in all directions. No one had the mood to fight with Fong Ping. The difference between a true god and the origin was in essence. Moreover, the true god-level Ninth Elder had been defeated so easily. Who would dare to be Fong Ping's enemy? Boom! There was a violent roar in all directions. Someone's path had been blocked by the barrier. At this moment, regardless of everything, they were bombarding the barrier frantically. On the other side, Fong Ping said faintly as he walked, "There's no need to look for that third elder. I killed him just now. Run. If you can't run, then die. It's okay if you can't break the barrier. Let someone self-destruct and blast the barrier open. I want to save someone now. I still need a minute. After a minute, if you can't run, then you can only die." No. Desperate roars resounded through the sky. But roars were useless. At this moment, a few rank 9 powerhouses suddenly attacked and grabbed the martial artists beside them. "Quick, blast the barrier." A few people roared. One of them grabbed a rank 7 martial artist. Under the other party's incredulous gaze, the other party's energy surged into his body, and he was instantly thrown toward the barrier. No, despair, indignation, but it was useless. A peak rank 9's energy surged into his body when he was not prepared. The consequences could be imagined. Boom! There was an explosion. Blood, mist rose all over the sky. Someone roared angrily, "Grand Deacon, he's lying to us." Everyone joined forces and bombarded one place to open a passage. Don't kill each other. 50 seconds left. At this moment, Fong Ping's ghostly voice rang again. "It'll be quick, in the blink of an eye. If you don't self-destruct, it's useless even if you join forces, unless you doubt the King of Man's strength. self-destruct. I'll leave you a way out. As he spoke, the initially trembling barrier in front of the people who were attacking the barrier together suddenly stabilized. Fang Ping said lightly, "Continue. My mentality is unlimited. Do as I say. I'll give you a chance. Otherwise, all of you can die. Fight him." A powerhouse roared. As soon as he finished speaking, a saber gleam cut through the sky. The rank 9 who shouted had almost no resistance. Everything was cut off by this saber. Golden body, mentality, origin, with one slash, everything disappeared. "Why don't you try resisting?" Fang Ping smiled brightly. Opposite the door, Chun Yunshi smiled too. "Your smile is so evil." "Evil?" Fang Ping laughed. "I'm very kind. I can't even bear to step on ants by the roadside. But those are human ants. As for non-humans, who cares?" As he said that, Fang Ping looked at the formation trapping Chun Yunshi, frowning slightly. At this moment, the meatball suddenly said, "You can't break the formation. Otherwise, her vitality and spiritual consciousness will disappear completely. If you spare me, I can take the initiative to break the formation, let her vitality and spiritual consciousness return, and restore her rank 7 ability." Fang Ping laughed. As he laughed, he patted the meatball like he was playing basketball. He laughed and said, "I have to thank you. This woman, she's messing around. She's the same as Qin Fengqing, eating good food every day. Her energy is messed up. It's great now. I can't bear to burn her. If you burn her, it'll burn away the impurities. Why would I want those to return? In the past, I thought that if she can't bear the pain, don't burn her. That's not something a human should do. Now," Fang Ping chuckled. "Thank you." Having said that, Fang Ping looked at Chun Yunshi and laughed. "I'll break the formation directly. It's okay to drop ranks. I'll be back soon. This is pure. I'll learn this formation later too. I'll burn them all. I'll let you guys suffer a little lest your ranks become unstable." "Aha!" Chun Yunshi was very obedient. She laughed. "I'll listen to you, but your posture when playing is so ugly." Having said that, she watched Fang Ping break the formation. Chun Yunshi seized the time and said to Qin Yun, who was lying on the ground, "Did you see that? He's much better at bluffing than you guys. You guys are really stupid. Now that the sect is destroyed, are you happy? I forgot to thank you. You guys are the source of my happiness when I'm in pain. Watching you bunch of idiots acting, I almost couldn't take it anymore. In the end, you guys almost made me laugh. Thank you so much." Hee hee. At this moment, Qin Yun was not sure if he was in despair or really angry. His throat moved, and suddenly his mentality was extinguished. Fang Ping's action of breaking the formation slowed down. He glanced at Chun Yunshi, the corner of his mouth twitching. "Don't learn from the good, learn from the bad. You're good. You killed a rank 9 with your mouth. Do you want to be the second Fang Ping?" Fang Ping was helpless. Chun Yunshi looked embarrassed. She said timidly, "Don't think too much. I'm a good girl. I was angered by them. I didn't expect them to be so narrow-minded. I angered myself to death." Fang Ping smashed the formation with a punch. Chun Yunshi staggered. Fang Ping wanted to help her up, but this woman suddenly stood up and kicked Elder Jiu, who was like a rubber ball, tens of meters away. "You caught me. I don't even feel like a rubber ball." Fang Ping sighed. "I don't think I need to comfort her anymore. Neo martial artists. Awesome." Female martial artists were almost becoming devils. P.S. Third point later, try to be before 12 o'clock. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor. Chapter 1049. On the other side, Chun Yunshi had sent Elder Jiu flying with a kick. On the other side, the people from Mount Luofu were completely scared out of their wits when they saw that the array was broken. Kill them quickly. The chief executive, who had killed a rank 7 martial artist earlier, was now completely insane. Elder Joe, a peerless martial artist, had been kicked around like a ball. Could they be Fong Ping's opponents? Impossible. Death was the only option. There was still hope to break the barrier by self-explosion, even if this hope was extremely slim. However, at this moment, everyone wanted to fight for it. The massacre continued. At this moment, a few rank 7 martial artists suddenly fell to the ground and knelt with a loud bang. The sound was really loud. Lord Human King, spare us. Lord, we are innocent. Lord, we are willing to fight with the humans. Please have mercy. Tearful pleas for mercy were heard. One by one, the martial artists knelt and begged for mercy. They no longer had the arrogance of immortals. This was immortals. Fong Ping had seen the ugly faces of these immortals more than once. Today, it made him feel even more disgusted. Fong Ping reached out and grabbed Elder Joe back into his hands, smiling faintly. Aren't we exterminating demons and protecting the Tao? Fong Ping looked at a rank 6 martial artist who had landed with the crowd. He was very young, looking less than 20 years old. At this moment, his face was pale, so scared that he was even a little wet, kneeling in front of Fong Ping. Fong Ping smiled faintly. When Elder Joe opens the passage to the human world, aren't you going to the human world to exterminate demons and protect the Tao? Now, the righteous immortals are actually kneeling and begging for mercy to the devil. This is the righteous path. Fong Ping laughed out loud, laughing so hard that he did not know why. This was the righteous powerhouse, the devil in their eyes. Even if it was just a woman, a young woman, had never begged for mercy when faced with a crisis of death. Even if she had suffered endless pain, she had never said a word of mercy. This was the devil. And this group of immortals who exterminated demons and protected the Tao in front of him were now showing their ugly side, kneeling and begging for mercy, incontinent. It was really too ridiculous. Fong Ping had a strong sense of mockery. At this moment, a woman in the crowd shouted, "Lord Human King, we have committed a crime." The 9th elder had captured Sir's Tao companion, and that was his idea. I knew nothing about it, and I have never killed any humans. If Sir wants to destroy Luofu Mountain, I am willing to leave Luofu Mountain and never be a disciple of Luofu Mountain again. Sir, please have mercy. My lord, a sovereign personage, the king of a race. Right now, there are still children on the Luofu Mountain. Could it be that my lord wants to kill them all? A woman cried out in grief, protecting a few tender children in her arms. Mount Luofu had new blood. Fong Ping closed his eyes. Just when everyone thought that there was hope, Fong Ping suddenly turned around and looked at Chen Yunxi, sighing softly. I'm not ruthless enough. Hearing that, Chen Yunxi laughed softly. As long as you're happy. Sigh, I'm kind-hearted, Fong Ping mumbled. He stretched out his gigantic hand. In the faraway lake of perpetual destruction, a broken spirit body was caught in his hand. The next moment, Fong Ping covered the sky with one hand, sweeping in all directions. The palace was crushed into iron blocks and thrown into the storage space. Although the storage space was no longer displayed, it did not affect its functions. However, a storage space of 10,000 cubic meters was really too small. Expanding 1 cubic meter would require 500 million worth of wealth, 50,000 points. Fong Ping had not expanded his storage space for a long time, but at this moment, he expanded it rapidly. 10,000 cubic meters, that was 500 million points of wealth consumed. This time, Fong Ping spent a total of 5 billion points of wealth to expand the space. You have to give to get what you want. 100,000 cubic meters. 100,000 cubic meters was actually not that big. At least, it was wishful thinking to want to store the entire heavenly palace. However, Fong Ping still had something else. At this moment, in his Sanjiao Gate, a palace floated out. Combat Heavenly Palace. Combat Heavenly Palace could not store living things, but it was not a problem for it to store dead things. Combat Heavenly Palace was not small. Fong Ping uprooted the palaces one by one, crumpled them into a ball, and stuffed them into the storage space, and Combat Heavenly Palace. At this moment, the martial artists who were killing each other stopped attacking. One by one, they landed on the ground, kneeling. No one dared to speak. Fong Ping's words earlier gave them hope. Maybe Fong Ping would not attack again after taking away the things. The palaces were being uprooted continuously. The bricks and soil underground were all swept away. Some treasure vaults were opened by Fong Ping. Large amounts of high-ranked energy stones, energy liquids, various pills, and various weapons fell into Fong Ping's hands. Not only that, Fong Ping also discovered a huge fruit garden. Seeing the various energy fruits in the fruit garden, Fong Ping's eyes lit up. This was going to be transplanted to Earth. This was really good stuff. After all, Earth had recovered too late. At this moment, there were no mineral veins, and there were no energy fruits of this scale. The effects of energy fruits were better than energy liquids. The energy was mild, and each had its own characteristics. For example, the 100-honing fruit had a particularly obvious effect on martial artists at specific times. Fong Ping unfolded Combat Heavenly Palace. Combat Heavenly Palace could be transplanted with plants. As for animals, they could not be transplanted. According to Tsang Mao, monster plants were not considered living beings because they had no emperors. At this moment, a large number of fruit trees were transplanted by Fong Ping. Among them were a few rank 9 monster plants. However, at this moment, a few rank 9 monster plants were like dead things, motionless, allowing Fong Ping to put them into Combat Heavenly Palace, not daring to reveal a single aura. It was too scary. Fruit trees, energy liquids. Eternal Lake, Immortal Palace. Fong Ping was really putting on whatever he saw. Combat Heavenly Palace was full, his storage space was full, and he still had many storage rings. At this moment, they were also full. At this time, there were still a large number of palaces. Moreover, this was just the things that he had put in a few dozen li of land. Sky Palace that was spread out for thousands of li. And Fong Ping was waiting. He had no intention of stopping. He was waiting for his wealth to increase. If there was no danger, his wealth would increase. This was also a basis to determine whether there were still powerhouses in this place. There were too many treasures, including Azure Imperial Palace. They were all taken away by Fong Ping. Those thrones were even embedded with desperate realm demon cores. These were real treasures. Wealth, 5 billion points vitality, 513,000 calories, 513,000 calories, mentality, 10,885 hertz, 10,885 hertz, can be cut, origin, vertical 520 meters, increase 52%, horizontal 3,100 meters, increase 31%, combat techniques, God-slaying sword techniques, plus 7%, void-piercing swordsmanship, plus 3%, manic explosion saber, plus 1%, combat technique combination deduction, 1 million points / time origin energy conversion, 100,000 points / 1 cloud energy shield, 1 point / minute, plus aura simulation, 10 points / minute, plus origin, detailed analysis, 10 to 100 million points / time strength control, 80% limit outburst, 779,760 cal / 974700 cal. At this moment, Fong Ping was staring at the data. After spending 4 5 billion to expand the storage space to 100,000 cubic meters. Fang Ping began to wait. At this moment, he dared not go to other places to snatch. He was really afraid that if his wealth broke through 100 billion at once, if he were to level up again, he would be done for. The current him did not have time to level up. Other than looking at his wealth, Fang Ping was also looking at his strength control, revealing a faint smile. 80%. This time, he actually increased his strength control by about 5%. Maximum vitality was above 970,000 calories. Limit outburst was actually as high as about 780,000 calories. 780,000 calories. It was almost the limit of a weak paragon's strength. Those weak paragons' strength control was not too high. Around 70% was not surprising. Fang Ping did not even take into account the divine weapon. If he did, it should be 800,000 calories limit outburst. This meant that, at this moment, even if Fang Ping encountered a weak paragon head-on, he also had the confidence to kill the other party without using surprise attacks. Of course, the premise was that the other party was a little stupid. If they were not stupid, they would run even if they were no match for him. This was inevitable, close to 1,000,000 cal vitality. At this moment, Fang Ping, who had only walked 500 meters on Origin Path, was already close to 1,000,000 cal limit. Based on the weak paragon's calculations, starting from 200,000 calories, without any other body honing in between, walking 1,000 meters would increase the vitality limit by 10,000 calories. Walking 3,000 meters would increase the vitality by 20,000 calories. That would be 220,000 calories. An increase of 2 times, vitality would reach 484,000 calories, about 970,000 calories vitality of a rank 9. In this way, the current Fang Ping was comparable to a genuine powerhouse who had walked 3,000 meters on Origin Path. The premise was that the other party had at least 80% strength control, and he had a divine weapon. Otherwise, Fang Ping could totally increase a stage, and there was not much difference between him and a paragon who had walked 4,000 meters on Origin Path. Turns out, I'm so powerful now. Fang Ping smiled faintly, sighing with emotion. The moment he looked at the data, his wealth suddenly skyrocketed. 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion. Fang Ping had moved Mount Luofu, one of the 10 big grotto heavens. It increased all the way to about 70 billion before stopping. It was the biggest gain in history. A gain close to 700 trillion. Yes, 700 trillion. It was equivalent to 700 paragons, holy fruits. Sky elm fruits were often used by Fang Ping as a price comparison now. A gain that was beyond imagination. Moreover, he had not finished cleaning up. At this moment, Fang Ping was not in a hurry to clean up the spoils of war. He had to spend them. He could not let his wealth break 100 billion at this time, or else it would be troublesome. 45 billion points of wealth were consumed in an instant. The storage space this time expanded shockingly. 1,000,000 cubic meters. In terms of size, it was very big. In terms of size, it was actually a cube with a length, width, and height of 100 meters. However, a cube with a length, width, and height of 100 meters could easily store a few 30-story buildings. Back then, Fang Ping wanted to expand the storage space to store rank 9 monster plants, but rank 9 monster plants were actually not this big. Even if they were complete and enlarged to the extreme, they would not be this big. If they were chopped up, they would be even smaller. Very quickly, his wealth dropped to about 26 billion points. However, Fang Ping was not worried at all. He had not finished robbing Mount Luofu. He had really underestimated the boundaries back then. In the Xuanda Grotto Heaven, he thought that even if he robbed a territory, his wealth would only be about 10 billion points. Only now did he realize that it was almost 100 billion points. Fong Ping looked at the people kneeling in front of him and said lightly, "Hand over your storage rings, weapons, and everything on you." "Sir," a rank 8 martial artist had just opened his mouth when Fong Ping's large hand pressed down, instantly crushing the other party into minced meat. 3. Fong Ping did not say anything else and directly reported the number. Right at this moment, these people handed over their things one after another. Fong Ping sneered. Chen Yunxi also wore a smile on her face. This was a god. It was really disgusting. Fong Ping waved his large hand and kept the things away again. His wealth increased slightly, not much, just 1 billion points. There were so many people in the huge Mount Luofu, and there were close to 100 high-ranked ones, but there were only 10 trillion treasures. Fong Ping was a little disappointed. It seemed like the wealth below the peak of Mount Luofu was limited. His wealth had reached 27 billion points. Right at this moment, Fong Ping hugged Qin Yunxi, leaped into the air, and said with a smile, "Go catch them. There are still people who are not here within the boundary of 1,000 miles. As he said that, Fong Ping leaped into the air and disappeared in the blink of an eye. As soon as he disappeared, the people kneeling on the ground looked at each other. Someone quickly transmitted his voice. "What should we do? Will this devil really let us go? Head Deacon, why don't we break the barrier now and escape together? No, don't drag us into this." At this moment, someone shouted loudly, his voice incomparably loud, "Lord Human King, someone is conspiring to escape. We are not involved." As soon as these words came out, there was silence everywhere. This was human nature. No, perhaps this was immortal nature. Some people wanted to escape, but some people did not want to be implicated and shouted directly. On the other side, Fong Ping's voice came. "Whoever wants to escape, kill him. Killing is meritorious." The headquarters also wants to watch a show, how to watch it. As he spoke, figures descended from the sky one by one. The people scattered all over the Luofu Immortal Palace were thrown over. There were more and more people. At this moment, everyone was incomparably quiet, trembling with fear, kneeling on the ground. A few people who had just been thrown over wanted to escape, but they were quickly killed by the martial artists in all directions. Not only the people in the heavenly palace, but the outer sect disciples below, the demons, and even some demons outside the boundary wall were quickly captured. A few minutes later, Fong Ping appeared here once again. At this moment, in other areas, all the palaces had disappeared. Fong Ping's wealth increased again, 40 billion points. The core was here. The other places were not too important. Even so, it still increased his wealth by 13 billion points. After calculating, the increase in wealth this time was more than 80 billion points. And this was the reward of destroying Luofu Mountain. On the huge ruins, there were some people and some demons kneeling densely. There were nearly 1,000 people and hundreds of demons. This was all the people and demons of Luofu Mountain. As for Fong Ping, he was playing with some sculptures in his hands. The originally huge sculptures were compressed by him into glass balls. 7. These sculptures were made by the powerhouses above the peak of Luofu Mountain by dividing their mentality, similar to Life Monarch and the others representing life and death. At this moment, 7 were intact. They represented Luofu Mountain's 12 elders, 1 sect leader, and there were still 7 people alive. Many, however, at this moment, the remnants of their mentality were with Fong Ping. In fact, there were only 5 people alive. And these 5 people, Fong Ping suddenly saw the name of the Shun family's patriarch. Luofu Mountain, 12th elder. Fong Ping smiled. Shin Haoqian was not dead. There was also one in Star Town, but no one dared to look at Star Town now, not even Fong Ping. At this moment, seeing Shun Haotian's sculpture here, Fong Ping was in a good mood. It was not surprising that Shun Haotian's sculpture was here. He was Venerable Duarch Green Essence's disciple, and also an elder of Luofu Mountain, the last one. When he walked out of Luofu Mountain that year, this would definitely be left behind. Now that he saw that he was not dead, Fong Ping was really in a good mood. Other than Shun Haotian, there were still 4 powerhouses alive from Luofu Mountain, 1 Emperor level, and 3 Peak level. This was probably all the people who entered the Celestial Cemetery. Luofu Mountain, which has been passed down for thousands of years, didn't die many people in the North-South War. What a pity, it's destroyed today. Fong Ping laughed, looked at everyone kneeling below, and said with a smile, "Come, shout that Venerable Darch Green Essence is dog **T. Fong Ping raised the canopy. The canopy had now been modified by humans to have its own recording function. It was LV Zhen's masterpiece. This was Fong Ping's first time using it. He felt that it should be very interesting. He wanted to take it and play it in the human world so that humans could see these people's faces clearly. He wanted to show it to Venerable Darch Green Essence if he was not dead. He wanted to show him what kind of trash his Luofu Mountain was. At this moment, everyone below looked at each other. Very soon, someone said hesitantly, "Sir, bang, fragments, minced meat." Hence, after a moment of silence, everyone shouted, "Green Essence is dog **T. Continue to curse all the peak level experts. Curse as much as you can. Ha ha ha, I want to let people see how disgusting you immortals are when you curse people. Your masters, your sect leaders, your elders. Ha ha, this is the blessed grotto heaven. This is the immortals." Among the people below, some were ashamed, but some did not care at all, quickly cursing. All kinds of curses sounded. It was a mess. As Fong Ping smiled, his expression turned cold. Very soon, he recovered his smile, looked at Chun Yunshi, and said with a smile, "Do you think such a group of people can be a match for humans? We human martial artists are greedy for life and afraid of death, but is there a sect like this? Are all of them dogs? Such a big sect, all of them. Not one, all of them. How ridiculous." Chun Yunshi held his arm, as if she was a little weak, leaning on his arm. Hearing that, she laughed and said, "Isn't this good? The more incompetent and useless the enemy is, the better the lives of humans will be. Makes sense." Fong Ping laughed and said, "Let's go if we see too many of these people. Our eyes will get dirty." After saying that, Fong Ping disappeared. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, not daring to stop cursing, still cursing. After a while, everyone looked at each other, and all heaved a huge sigh of relief. Narrowly escaped death. However, at this moment, a powerful mentality swept in all directions. Everyone below the high rank died. Just as the high ranks and above were about to escape, a Chongdao sliced through the air like cutting melons and vegetables, killing dozens of people in an instant. "Fong Ping, you shameless villain, you said you would spare us. Lord King, spare us." "No, don't kill me. I'm going to achieve Dao soon. Spare me, Lord." Screams were heard one after another. At the same time, the broken sky palace fell. There was a rumble. The next moment, the sky palace fell, emitting a roar. However, the boundary was a place separated from the world. The demons on the periphery were all captured inside. Right now, even if there was a sound, it could not be heard across the forbidden sea. Fong Ping, who was already far away, laughed and said, "What a pity. I wanted to set off fireworks, but I was afraid of being discovered. No matter, in the 3 major boundaries, this is only the first. The third, I must set off fireworks. Let the 3 realms see. the brilliance of fireworks. Mount Luofu was destroyed. Sect annihilation. Fong Ping did not think about those young people, those children. He was the leader of the human race, not the leader of the other races. Since those people wanted to eliminate demons and defend the Tao, the demon, would be a real demon for once. Did I say I would spare you? I don't think so. Fong Ping pinched a meatball in his hand, smiled playfully, and said, "Ninth Elder, how was the show? Did you like it?" Silence. You'll see even more. The three realms want to kill the human race. I thought about it. Maybe they think that I, Fong Ping, am not a demon enough. King Wu is a demon enough, but King Wu is petty. He only kills individual powerhouses, things like annihilating a sect. He doesn't do much. I thought about it. Since he's not a demon enough, then I'll be a little more demon. Maybe it'll be better. Fong Ping smiled brightly, turned his head to look at Chun Yunxi, smiled, and asked, "Are you afraid?" No. Chun Yunshi's smile was also extremely bright. "I like to see you become a demon. Your demon is a good demon." Ha ha ha. Fong Ping laughed. Good demon? Good words. Then watch me become a demon. Go to Earth and watch. You're too weak, not qualified to be a demon with me. As Fong Ping finished speaking, he tossed Chun Yunxi far away. There, a figure was floating in the air. The figure looked at Fong Ping, not saying a word. Fong Ping smiled and said, "I'm old. I have to accept my fate. If you do this kind of thing sneakily next time, don't blame me for expelling your human status." Human status. Fong Ping created a new term. In the distance, Chen Yaoding did not say a word either. You can say whatever you want. Chun Yunxi, who was floating in the air, waved at Fong Ping, her smile still as bright as a flower. "Go kill them and make them tremble. I'll go to Magic City to warm up the wine for you. Good wine, good wine. I'll wait for you to come back to celebrate. Don't let the wine get cold. You're so long-winded. Spring is here. Why are you drinking warm wine? Go back quickly, or else when I go back, you'll still be on your way." Fong Ping laughed, his figure disappearing instantly. Destroying Mount Luofu was smoother than expected. Chun Yunshi's realm dropped to rank 5, unable to manifest her Sanjiao gate. But Fong Ping was not in a hurry. If this was not a problem, what was the realm? People were fine. They would only improve further. What a pity that I didn't set off fireworks. I'm not feeling good. Today, I must set off fireworks. Let the three realms see the splendor of fireworks. Fong Ping muttered in a low voice. It seemed like people had forgotten his fireworks skills. In the distance, Chun Yunshi's smile was so bright that it was hard to feel sad. Chun Yaoting, who was originally heartbroken, did not know whether to laugh or cry at this moment. After a long time, he sighed softly. He's the leader of humanity, humanity's only hope. Child, stop giving him trouble. Stop saying that you like him in front of others. Stop thinking about getting married and having children. He doesn't need to be dragged down. Humanity can't have an unquestionable sword either. I'd rather he ignore you than go crazy for you. Grandpa, I'm sorry. No, Grandpa, you're right. Chun Yunxi chuckled. I won't let him become unquestionable sword. I am just an admirer of the King of Humanity. One of thousands of admirers. I'll wait until the day humanity wins. Grandpa, can you wait with Yunxi? Okay. Chun Yaoting smiled with tears in his eyes. He did not know if he should be happy or sad. Chun Yunxi was still smiling like a flower. I don't want to be the wife of the King of Humanity. I want to be the wife of the King of the three realms. I'll wait until that day comes. If I can't wait, then humanity has already failed. There's no need to think about these anymore. Chapter 1050. Behu Catacombs. Imperial Sea Mountain. Wu Bao led the Destiny Royal Court people, still standing outside Imperial Sea Mountain. Opposite Imperial Sea Mountain, there was a battle going on. A large-scale battle. It was a battle between armies, not a battle between experts. The human army and the Catacombs Foreign Army were fighting each other, their battle cries piercing the sky. Opposite, Wu Quishan's expression was cold. He did not say a word, watching the battle in the distance. Beside him, Li Wuji was a little uncomfortable. After a while, he said telepathically, "Minister Wu, why don't we just kill our way out? These weaklings can't change anything." Big picture? Wu Quishan's voice was calm. He said lightly, "Humans are strong. This is the big picture. We don't need individuals to be strong. Humans need to be strong as a whole." It was a simple sentence, but it was extremely cruel. There were close to 40,000 people in the Wuan army. On the other hand, MCMAU and 1st Military School had formed a team of 3,000 people. In addition to some other martial artists, this time, the martial artist army he had brought with him from North Lake was as high as 50,000 people. Did he expect these people to change the big picture? No. It was only to give these people a chance to participate in the battle. Powerhouses would only show their talent, explode their foundation, and survive in desperate situations. Only through continuous battles could the young martial artists officially step onto the stage. 50,000 people. Wu Quishan was even prepared to sacrifice some of them. The remaining people, a little stronger, a little stronger. This was the big picture. Humans did not rely on 1 or 2 people to support them. Martial kings were too tired, sovereign personages were too tired, everyone was too tired, too fatigued. Everyone had to fight. Fight for their lives. Fight for power. Moreover, they could also buy time to ensure that Fang Ping could successfully annihilate Mount Luofu. Since Wu Bao and the others did not take the initiative to attack, Wu Quishan did not mind training at this time. Blindly relying on the protection of powerhouses, humans could never rely on themselves to become strong. Among the human powerhouses who were famous today, no one became a powerhouse purely by relying on the protection and support of powerhouses, including Fang Ping. The battles and dangers that Fang Ping had experienced in the past 3 years were incomparable to countless older powerhouses. Beside him, Yu Wuhua watched the killing army, watching people fall one after another. Wu Quishan and the others did not move, and could not help but sigh and lament. Humans were really scary. When it was time to protect, they would risk their lives. When the strong attacked the weak, even if they were no match for the strong, they would fight on the front lines and never retreat. When it was not their duty to protect, even when they saw those soldiers dying in battle, they were indifferent and unmoved. They had a good grasp of propriety. Perhaps it was cruel, but the effect was remarkable. Humans grew stronger in battle. If this army of 50,000 cultivators did not die this time and recovered from their injuries, then they would all improve and become the elites of the human race. This was similar to Wu Quishan's gu-rearing plan. It was similar, but different. Back then, it all depended on luck. But now, there was an expert holding the line, ensuring absolute fairness. The high-ranked powerhouses of the catacombs had all been chased to the border of Mount Royal Sea by the combined forces of humans. This was the opportunity that the human experts had fought for them, and this scene was also happening in the Donglin catacombs. Over at Eastern Woods, a large number of troops were fighting as well. After saying a few words, Wu Quishan turned his head and looked at Universe Bao and the others several dozen miles away. He said in a calm voice, "Ji Yao, since your Destiny Royal Court is here, isn't it boring to just sit and watch the show? You don't want too many people to die, and we don't want to start a war like a swarm of bees. My human ancestors liked to fight generals on the battlefield. Why don't we have a duel?" Battle of generals at the front lines. This rarely happened during a battle between two armies. The catacombs preferred to suppress humans with the number of powerhouses. Humans, on the other hand, were used to fighting one against two, or even three or more. And now, Wu Quishan actually proposed a battle of generals. Wu Quishan chuckled. Is Destiny Royal Court afraid? If you're afraid, then come at me together. Since both sides have met here, it's impossible to hope that no one will die. When we humans send out our troops, there will be blood. War is the consumption of resources. Humans will not retreat until blood is shed. Ji Yao's expression was cold as she looked at him coldly. Then she suddenly snorted and said, General Duel, Snake King, how do you want to fight? 7th pin against 7th pin, 8th pin against 8th pin, 9th pin against 9th pin. Both sides entered the Great Canyon to fight. The side that died would continue to send people. Simple rules. The others are not allowed to attack. If they attack, then it'll be an all-out war. Wu Quishan smiled. Do you dare? Ji Yao sneered. Why not? How many high-ranked martial artists are there in your land of rebirth? Even if there are 10 of them for one of you, your land of rebirth will still be destroyed. Having said that, Ji Yao said coldly, since you want a battle of generals, I also want to watch a big show. Someone sound the drums and cheer. The royal court is unrivaled in God's land. Don't tell me they don't even have the courage to fight people of the same rank. Beside her, Universe Bao frowned slightly, but he did not refuse. He also wanted to see the level of the land of rebirth martial artists. To be honest, other than the absolute peak martial artists, the rest of the restricted area martial artists did not fight many of the reborn martial artists. Actually, there were quite a few, but almost all of them died. It would be easier to make arrangements after getting a feel of the reborn martial artist strength. Tang Feng, you go. Show the young people how to kill. Yes, sir. Tang Feng roared. He quickly used flight step and yelled across the air, Human Tang Feng, MCMEU instructor, rank 8 first stage. Who dares to fight? Opposite him, Universe Bao glanced at Tang Feng and nodded to an armored powerhouse under his command. Soon, a person flew out from the opposite side, yelling, Destiny Royal Court, Tribute Hall Bao Chong, rank 3 venerable. Rank 3 is also trash. Tang Feng was not the least bit afraid. He quickly rushed into the Grand Canyon passageway. The passageway was narrow, at least for a rank 8 martial artist. There was not much space to maneuver. However, this also made it easier to determine life and death. The stronger the powerhouse, the smaller the place they fought, the easier it was to see blood and determine life and death. Both parties rushed into the Grand Canyon at the same time. At this moment, the Grand Canyon's barrier had already been opened by both parties, leading to the opposite side. In the blink of an eye, both of them unleashed their golden bodies, fighting in the Grand Canyon passageway. Tang Feng was like a lion, unusually fierce. Although his realm was not as high as the other parties, he was more brutal and brave when he fought. His iron fists were not golden, but blood red. Every punch was filled with the stench of blood, making people nauseous. Mad Lion Tang Feng. Even if he had just entered rank 8, he was still incomparably brave. Under the watchful eyes of the powerhouses on both sides exchanged hundreds of moves in an instant. At this time, the other party's sword pierced through Tang Feng's left eye, directly from the eye socket to the back of his head. Yu Wu Hua, and the others frowned slightly. A rank 8 first refinement versus a 3rd refinement. The difference was not small. However, at this time, Tang Feng was extremely calm and collected, as if the one who was pierced was not him. Just when the other party thought that victory was in his grasp, he grinned, punched, and the void shook. Bang! A loud sound was heard. Tang Feng's punch had pierced through the other party's chest. The other party was about to pull out his sword and retreat, but at this time, the long sword suddenly stopped. Blood spurted out from Tang Feng's eyes, but the back of his head was stuck to the other party's long sword. In the blink of an eye, Tang Feng roared and punched again, smashing the other party's head. At this time, the powerhouses under Universe Bao's command were ready to make a move. Wu Quishan said lightly, "This is only the first battle. You guys can't wait to fight the strong already? Trash indeed." Universe Bao raised his hand, stopping the powerhouses under his command from helping. His eyes were cold, but his heart was slightly shaken. It was said that there were demons in the world. Sure enough, there really were demons. MCMAU's Tang Feng, a rank 8 first refinement martial artist, fought extremely crazily. He was not afraid of death, not afraid of strong enemies, and his momentum was invincible. Under the watchful eyes of the powerhouses on both sides, Tang Feng was incomparably crazy. Punches after punches. Under the other party's counterattack, half of his head was almost smashed, but he forcefully blasted the other party's golden body into pieces. The last punch smashed the other party's mentality into smithereens. Bao Chong was dead. A third refinement versus a first refinement. After exchanging more than 300 moves, Tang Feng killed the strong enemy at the cost of half of his head being smashed. Seeing this, Wu Quishan laughed heartily, his mentality erupting instantly. Tang Feng of the human race, rank 8 first refinement, killed a rank 8 third refinement catacombs strong enemy. Congratulations! Congratulations to Grandmaster Tang. In the distance, tens of thousands of troops roared at the same time. In an instant, their momentum skyrocketed. The initially exhausted people became incomparably valiant at this moment. One after another, they erupted. At this moment, the two armies that were facing each other were instantly killed by the humans. Screams were endless. In the North Lake catacombs, countless foreign troops were killed in an instant. Blood dyed the ground red. Fighting generals in front of the battlefield, defeating the strong as the weak, killing the strong. This was the greatest morale booster. Sometimes, fighting spirit was more important than strength. Morale was more important than resources. In the canyon, Tang Feng laughed heartily and shouted, "Tang Feng of the human race, fight again." Universe Bao's expression was ugly, his brows slightly furrowed. Beside him, someone spoke telepathically, "Temple Master, why don't we send a peak venerable to kill Tang Feng?" Universe Bao frowned and shouted telepathically, "Trash! Tang Feng has only just entered the venerable realm. If a peak venerable were to attack, the land of rebirth might not intervene. Even if they don't, a peak venerable killing a rank, one would be a disgrace." Among the royal court powerhouses, who still has the confidence to fight again? Fighting generals. If they fought well, everyone's momentum would be unparalleled in the upcoming battle. However, if they were defeated, their morale would be greatly affected. This was also the first time Universe Bao witnessed a battle between a rebirth martial artist and someone of the same rank. Brutal, cold, ruthless to the enemy, and even more ruthless to themselves. No wonder even with so many true kings around, they did not dare to recklessly fight the other party. It was fine if there were only 1 or 2 such ruthless people, but everyone in the land of rebirth was the same. There had never been a moment when Universe Bao felt that the land of rebirth was so scary and dangerous. He did not know if it was a good or bad thing for the true kings of the divine land of rebirth to be enemies with the land of rebirth. As for him, his main goal was to seize power. As for going all out against the land of rebirth, he had no such intention. Continue. He's only a rank 1. He was already injured earlier. Go again. At Universe Bao's command, Another rank 8 rank 3 powerhouse attacked. Both of them exchanged blows in an instant. This time, the other party was more vigilant and decisive. When they fought, it was also incomparably tragic. 5 minutes later, Tang Feng forcefully destroyed the other party's golden body with a slight advantage. He was also severely injured. Under Wu Quishan's signal, he quickly retreated. Tang Feng won the second battle again. Lu Fengru, you fight. The next moment, Wu Quishan looked at Lu Fengru. His voice was stern, without a hint of bias. Lu Fengru did not say a word. She quickly rushed out and shouted, "Human Lu Fengru, MCMEU instructor, rank 8 first stage. Trash, come at me." On the other side, another rank 8 third stage attacked. In the catacombs, the powerhouses were also becoming more cautious and serious. When they fought, they were also more ruthless and decisive. They were also growing. Previously, most of them had not fought with the rebirth martial artists, so they did not know the situation in the land of rebirth. Now, after 2 battles, 2 deaths, these people were even more cautious now. Moreover, many people also knew that Lu Fengru was the Snake King's wife. The Snake King had even sent his wife into battle. Now, even the catacombs felt that if they were to fight with the Snake King and the others, even if they lost, they should at least lose with some dignity. Moreover, if they won and killed the Snake King's wife, it would be a great victory for the divine land. Universe Bao and the others were even more restless, staring at Wu Quishan and the others. Once these people attacked, they would be at a disadvantage in terms of morale. Now, he wanted to see if the Snake King would attack when Lu Fengru was in danger. In the crowd, Lu Polu telepathically said, "Lil Wu, why did you let Fengru fight?" After all, Lu Fengru had just entered rank 8. Now that she was facing an experienced rank 8 third stage martial artist, she was surrounded by danger. If this went on, she might be killed by the other party. Of course, there was still hope of escaping. However, in the war between the 2 armies, Wu Quishan was the one who suggested the frontline battle. If Lu Fengru escaped and the catacombs spread the news, the human side's morale would definitely plummet. Lu Polu was helpless. Why send Lu Fengru into battle? There were still many powerhouses here, all of whom could fight. Wu Quishan said calmly, "If my wife doesn't fight, how can I let others die? If my wife doesn't fight, how can the catacombs believe that we humans are sincere and willing to fight? Everyone just watch. It's a good thing if we win, but if we lose, we're not allowed to attack." "Nonsense. If Fang Ping finds out," Wu Quishan said coldly, "I'm the commander-in-chief of the battle at Beihu. Here, I call the shots." Only if Lu Fengru went into battle would this battle of generals continue. Otherwise, if 2 catacombs powerhouses were killed consecutively, this battle might end very quickly. He wanted to continue delaying. Now, the longer he delayed here, the longer Fang Ping's action would take. Otherwise, if a great battle broke out now, once he was entangled, Fang Ping would not be successful at Mount Luofu. If the battle ended quickly, Fang Ping might be exposed, and the entire plan would fail. Over at Beihu's Void, Mausoleum Grotto Heaven, their powerhouses might also be watching the battle in secret, making them focus their attention on him, ignoring the other parties. This was also his goal. Looking at Lu Fengru bleeding in the Grand Canyon, Wu Quishan's gaze was cold, but deep in his eyes, there were glistening tears. "Although I don't want to, this is the way of the world. Fengru, you can do it. Everyone in the human race wants to fight. You're no exception. In the past, you were crazy for your daughter. You could ignore everything, but now you want to fight. You've taken too many benefits. You've obtained too many opportunities from Fang Ping, from rank 6 to rank 8, and you still don't want to fight. As Fang Ping's teacher, if you don't take the lead, who will trust Fang Ping? Others can be afraid to fight, but you can't. The king's teacher should not and must not be afraid to fight. Even if he died in battle, it was to prove to the human race that the king's close friends also dared to die. No exception. You're not Fan Yuan, you're a rank 8 powerhouse. At this moment, many people exclaimed in a low voice. Half of Lu Fengru's body was smashed by the other party's palm. Wu Quishan moved his feet, clenching his fists tightly, but he suppressed the throbbing, forcibly stopping in his tracks. At this moment, a phoenix's cry was heard. In the void, a fiery red phoenix floated in the air, flames erupting. The powerhouse who was about to smash Lu Fengru's had screamed in pain. His mentality burned. Burning mentality, it was too painful. This scream also made the other party's movement stagnate. At this moment, Lu Fengru roared angrily, punching out with an invincible fist force. Invincible fist. Boom. A headless corpse fell to the ground, its mentality completely burned by the phoenix. Lu Fengru snorted coldly. Fang Ping doesn't want to learn my invincible fist. He always thinks that it's invincible in name, but in reality, he's useless. Let's see what else he has to say this time. Fang Ping despised the name Invincible Fist, unwilling to learn it. This time, Lu Fengru wanted to let him know that her invincible fist was truly invincible. At this moment, in the crowd, Fu Changding took a step into the air, laughing loudly. Since the instructors are flaunting their prowess in front of the battlefield, this student will also show his incompetence. Human Fu Changding, MCMEU student, early stage rank, 7, good friend of the human king. Who wants to kill me? Good friend of the human king. MCMEU student. At this moment, over at the catacombs, Universe Bao suddenly understood something. Today, those who fought seemed to be related to the human king. What was Wu Quishan trying to do? Was he still going to fight? 3 rank, 8 powerhouses had died in a row. Even he felt the pinch. However, if he killed the human king's good friend, the human king teacher, the land of rebirth's morale would definitely drop. However, at this moment, the royal court's morale was not as good as before. Universe Bao hesitated. However, Ji Yao said coldly, "Continue. Early stage commanders can't be killed, so the royal court might as well stop fighting. They will lose anyway. If you kill Fang Ping's friends and family, the entire land of rebirth's morale will drop. Killing one person means success." Soon, in the crowd, an upper stage rank 7 martial artist charged out. The battle started again. Blood, energy, vitality. In the Grand Canyon, the battle was getting bloodier. Outside the Grand Canyon, the 50,000 human army was killing nonstop, their battle cries shaking the sky. Every time they won a battle in the Grand Canyon, their morale would soar. Congratulations resounded throughout the North Lake catacombs. Mad Lion Tangfeng, Wu Wudi, Little Gun King Fu Changdoing, these human powerhouses displayed the undefeatable might of the human race. Fighting above ranks, killing in battle. The more they fought, the braver they became. This was the human race. Among the 50,000 troops, during these battles, celestial bridges suddenly appeared, as well as other tangible objects. One by one, the rank 7 grandmasters rose into the air after breaking through, heading straight for Mount Imperial Sea. High ranks should participate in battles between high ranks. When they broke through, the human race was undefeatable, invincible, and all-conquering. 100 years ago, the human race was in rags, with few martial artists struggling to reach this day. 100 years later, the human race was in the 3 realms. Even if the 3 realms were their enemy, they were not afraid. After 100 years of bloody battles, the human race would rise, fight for a future, fight to carve out a new world, while the humans were opening up new battlefields. In the fake sky grave, Zhang Tao, who was still being carried on Warlord's back, frowned. Warlord sensed it, panting tiredly. I say, didn't you break out once and kill a true god? Why are you so dispirited again? Cut the crap. Zhang Tao rubbed his chin and asked curiously, how long have we been in here? Less than a month. Be more specific. 23 days. Warlord could not remember. He roughly estimated, panting. You slept with Li Zhu's wife? Why is he always chasing after you? Nonsense, his wife. I have to say, his wife is quite pretty. Zhang Tao laughed, then quickly coughed. Don't talk nonsense. His wife was killed by Nan Yunhua back then. If you put it like that, it'll make it sound like Nan Yunhua killed her out of jealousy. Warlord rolled his eyes. I was just saying it casually, but it's actually a bit of gossip. Zhang Tao ignored him. He looked at the space battlefield in front of him and said quickly, find a place to hide. I'm going into seclusion for a few days. Seclusion? Warlord said excitedly. Are you going to recover from your injuries? Nope. Zhang Tao denied it. What injuries? His injuries seemed to be almost healed. What the hell was this? His mentality, which was about to be scrapped, had recently increased crazily. What did this kid Fang Ping do? According to his estimation, in this situation, the human strength had improved a lot. Other things aside, there might be dozens more rank 7s and many rank 8s and 9s. What was going on? How did the humans get so many powerhouses? Is this kid trying to hide it from me? He could have improved before, but when I became the boss, he refused to do it no matter what. After I leave, this kid must show off. Zhang Tao laughed bitterly. He knew he was overthinking. It might be related to Fang Ping's Emperor path. But this kid had exceeded his expectations too much. He now suspected that after he left, would there be thousands more high ranks in the human race? My injuries are almost healed. I should find a time to integrate the 6 realms. 6 emperor-level powerhouses were willing to sacrifice everything for him to integrate. These days, his injuries were serious, and he had no chance to do it. Now, maybe there was a chance. As for the Heavenly King, Zhen Wang mentioned, old Zhang was too lazy to care. His origin path was as Fang Ping guessed. It did not go far. Forget 100,000 meters, not even 50,000 meters. However, after integrating the 6 realms, there might be hope to cross 50,000 meters. Fang Ping did not know Zhang Tao's specific strength. Even when old Zhang had an outburst, it was difficult for him to estimate. But Zhang Tao knew clearly in his heart. After advancing from peak to peak of refinement 8, the basic vitality was 260,000 calories. After walking 10,000 meters on the Great Path, the Emperor level would have an increase of 50,000 calories. After walking 9,000 meters, the increase was also 90,000 calories. At the Emperor level, his basic vitality was 400,000 calories. Now that he had walked 30,000 meters on the Great Path, the basic vitality would increase by 20,000 calories every 10,000 meters at the Emperor level. As for Zhang Tao, he had been continuing to hone his body. If he had not reached peak of refinement 9, then there was room for improvement. It was just that it was very difficult. At this moment, his basic vitality was as high as 450,000 calories, horizontal 10,000 meters, increased by 100%, vertical 30,000 meters, increased by 220%. Combat techniques, created by himself and most suitable for him, were stronger than Fang Ping's, increase as high as 8%. All in all, his maximum vitality was close to 2 million calories. However, his strength control was not high, a little stronger than Fang Ping, about 85%. Converted to rank 9, his limit was close to 4 million calories, just close to the saint level. according to the data Fang Ping had announced previously. 4 million calories to 5 million cal were saint level. Therefore, when Zhang Tao's outburst earlier, everyone thought that he had the strength comparable to a saint level. After integrating the 6 realms, the temporary outburst was even comparable to a top-notch powerhouse among the saint level. However, Zhang Tao, who had only walked 30,000 meters on the Great Path, knew his own situation. Even if he integrated the 6 realms, he could walk up to 50,000 meters at most. The basic increase was 40,000 calories. The increase was 20%. The limit was probably about 4 million calories, but it would not reach the strength of a heavenly king. The reason why suppressing heavenly king and the others thought so was based on the fact that Zhang Tao really walked 100,000 meters on the Great Path and had a huge increase in vitality. 100,000 meters on the Great Path, according to the previous pattern, could probably increase the basic vitality by 100,000 calories in one go. With the increase, of course, it would be much more. However, Zhang Tao knew in his heart that he did not have this opportunity. After the integration, he might only be a powerhouse among the saint level and not even the top-notch kind. Whatever, let's integrate first. Zhang Tao did not care about this. When the Great Path reached 50,000 meters, it would be better than now. Even if he did not become a heavenly king and became a powerhouse among the saint level, it would not be that easy for a heavenly king to kill him. When I really walk 100,000 meters on the Great Path, I'll kill all of you one by one. Zhang Tao swore in his heart. They did not expect him to recover so quickly, did they? In terms of strength, he was no match for them. In terms of potential, all of you can just follow behind him and eat my farts. Chapter 10:51. Old Wu in Beihu was furious. Old Zhang in the fake sky grave was furious. Earth Wisdom, who had left Dong Lin, frowned. Not here. The humans made such a big commotion this time, and they didn't come in? Earth Wisdom was puzzled. Based on her understanding of humans, human powerhouses would come in to fight in this kind of thing. But now, not only were Wang Jinyang and the rest not here, Li Changsheng, who was known as the first rank, 9, was also not here. Where did these people go? The divine sex branch in the human world has been destroyed. It's difficult to send messages now. Earth Wisdom felt a little helpless. Otherwise, the divine sect would be able to quickly receive information about these famous people in the human world. Are they just waiting in the human world, waiting for the results of the battle? Battles had already begun in the southern territories. But even in some territories where some humans were defeated by the catacombs, those people did not come to help. This time, Earth Wisdom was really surprised. Fortunately, the surprise did not last long. Soon, a crystal bead in Earth Wisdom's arms trembled slightly. In the next moment, a voice came from the crystal bead. "Sir, there's news from the human world's believers. Fang Ping is still in Magic City, guarding everywhere. The Heavenly Legion and the Department of Investigation are guarding everywhere in Sino Nation. Fang Ping really didn't leave. He didn't leave. Where are Longevity Sword and the rest? Longevity Sword and the rest seem to have gone to the 24th Southern Territory to patrol. What about Wang Jinyang and the rest? They seem to have gone with them." Earth Wisdom's eyes flashed with joy. They came together. 24th Southern Territory. Good. The believers who sent the message will be rewarded handsomely. Earth Wisdom was in a good mood. It was not easy for them to still send an important message when the branch was destroyed. Keep an eye on them for me. Once they come out of the 24th Southern Territory, inform me immediately. The Donglin catacombs belong to the 8 Southern Territories. She could not go through Earth. If she went through the catacombs, it would be 16 territories away, almost 200,000 li away. Even if she was powerful, she needed some time. She was worried that they would run away again. "Don't worry, sir. Once there's news, I will inform you immediately." The crystal ball was also an innovation of the evil sect. Back then, the evil sect's Grand Pope used this item to contact all parties. The appearance of the sky screen actually came from the crystal ball. The evil cult had arranged for people to be stationed in the outer realm. If anyone from Earth were to enter, they would be able to contact them quickly and relay the news through them. Hui didn't say much and quickly rushed toward the 24 southern regions. Hui rushed from the 8 southern regions to the 24th regions. Fang Ping, on the other hand, did not have to go through so much trouble. At this moment, Fang Ping had once again transformed into Xiele, leaving the catacombs in the blink of an eye. Nanmen was quite a distance away from Jingnan, but it was much faster to travel on Earth. Fang Ping was in a hurry. Of course, he had to cross the Earth. In the end, not long after exiting the catacombs, Fang Ping, who was still flying through the air at high speed, suddenly stopped moving. In a city below, many people were gathered in the huge open-air plaza. In the middle of the square, a huge screen was facing a person. The leader of the humans, Fang Ping. Yes, Fang Ping. At this moment, Fang Ping was incomparably awe-inspiring. He said calmly, "Humans must win every war. Now that some catacombs have sent urgent reports, there is no need for everyone to panic. Headquarters has already sealed off a few passageways and evacuated the civilians in the passageways. The catacombs are struggling on their deathbed. We've already won in the North Lake and Donglin catacombs. We've killed countless catacombs powerhouses. They want to cause panic among humans. Wishful thinking. The catacombs won't be able to break the invincible heaven and earth ceiling and locking down invincible defense shroud in a short time. After we've eliminated the catacombs powerhouses in North Lake and Donglin, we'll be able to quell the chaos everywhere." On the screen, Fang Ping was comforting the civilians. Just as Fang Ping exited the catacombs, some catacombs had already sent urgent reports. Nowadays, there were many civilians who practiced martial arts. There were many martial artists. News spread quickly too. The evil sects received news from these people. Fang Ping had made his move. He personally went to the 3 major catacombs, sealed off the passageways, and evacuated the defensive forces in the catacombs. Now, the 3 catacombs had been sealed off. Seizing this opportunity, Fang Ping started a live broadcast and began to comfort the civilians. The effect was obviously not bad. In the plaza, although the civilians did not really understand these things, they were cheering one after another. "Minister Fang is invincible. Humans are invincible. Humans will definitely win." Humans had once again gained the upper hand in the 2 major catacombs. Although the other catacombs were dangerous, for Minister Fang, all the dangers were not dangerous. On the television, Fang Ping was talking and eating something. Those with sharp eyes seemed to have noticed what he was eating and were a little surprised. However, there was no rule that said Minister Fang could not eat dried fish. Minister Fang's personal taste problem did not need to be too deep into it. Fang Ping stopped. Seeing this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Big Cat was still reliable. As for eating something, he did not care too much. He did not expect Big Cat to make a move at this time. It even learned to comfort the civilians. It did better than he expected. Fang Ping was just about to leave. The next moment, he stopped again. On the television, Old Cat felt that it had done its job and even helped the scammer to comfort the people. Now it was time to pay back. After a pause, Old Cat pretended to be dignified and said, "Also, the seal and lock invincible defense barrier I used was passed on to me by a human friend, Old Cat." In recognition of Old Cat's contribution to humans, I have decided to provide Old Cat with 10,000 tons of cat food every month for free. As soon as this was said, everyone was stunned. Providing cat food? There was such a thing. However, in the next moment, everyone stopped paying attention. It was just cat food. Although 10,000 tons was a lot, cat food was a small matter. Moreover, this was done by the government. It was not their business. In the air, the corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched. This cat, what was it doing? Was it necessary? It made it sound like I starved it to death. 10,000 tons of cat food. Could it finish it? Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry about Old Cat promising cat food in front of the public, but he did not care too much. Old Cat had indeed contributed a lot to humans. From what it said, it had even blocked a few passageways this time. This was also a great cover for him. Blocking the passageways for a while was not too difficult. Old Zhang and the others had done it before, using mentality to block the passageways. However, it did not last long and needed to be replenished in time. Fong Ping could do this too, but it would only last for a short time. It was definitely not as strong as Old Cat. Since Old Cat had done it, it saved Fong Ping the trouble. Fong Ping took a look and did not stay any longer. He left quickly. What Fong Ping did not know was that Old Cat did not only talk about the 10,000 tons of cat food. Next, the cat sighed in a roundabout way for a while. It still owed the cat 1,000,000 tons of cat food. When the battle was over, all the companies that produced cat food had to work overtime to pay off the cat's debt. Of course, Fong Ping was not in the mood to care about this. Regardless of whether it was 10,000 tons or 1,000,000 tons, he would pay if he had it. If he didn't, he would renege on his debt. It was just cat food. It was nothing. It could only be said that this cat had a big appetite. Fong Ping arrived at the catacombs of southern Fujian in no time. Southern Fujian was where Mount Huatong was located. When he saw Fong Ping disguised as Xie Lei, the rank 9 powerhouse guarding this place was slightly surprised. Inspector Xie, Minister Li, and the others have just entered the catacombs for an internal inspection. Could it be that something is about to happen in Nanmin? Fong Ping chuckled. That's not it. It's mainly because Huatongshan is here. The relationship between humans and Huatongshan isn't considered good. Now that the other catacombs are at war, we're also worried that something might happen to Huatongshan. That's why Minister Fong asked me to come and take another look to make sure there's nothing wrong with Huatongshan. Then be careful, Inspector Xie. But Huatong Mountain hasn't been acting strangely recently and has been closing its domain all this time. It shouldn't be that he would go against the humans at this time, right? Just in case. Fong Ping did not say much. He said quickly, I'll go take a look then. Old Lu, please be more careful here. After a brief conversation with the rank 9 who was in charge, Fong Ping hurried toward the bounded zone. It seemed that the destruction of Luofu Mountain this time was smooth. There were no accidents here either. This was good too. If an accident really happened, even if Old Wang and the rest joined forces, they might not be able to defeat Jueping. Old Wang and the rest could kill Jueping last time because of the existence of Heavenly Emperor Zhan's remnant consciousness. Now that Heavenly Emperor Zhan's remnant consciousness had disappeared, they might not have this chance again. End the battle quickly and destroy Huatongshan. This time, the only target left is the void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. They're still fighting there. I hope they can buy me some time. Not only was Fong Ping worried that something might happen there, but he was also worried that something might happen here. It was not like every time before, where he could kill his opponent and still retain a trace of the other party's mentality so that they could not be destroyed. Even if he could hold back the other party might not do as he wished. The probability of them self-destructing was not small. If Jueping died, the movement would not be small. Other than those in the Forbidden Sea, those who were on land and nearby could sense such changes. Very soon, Fang Ping arrived near the bounded zone. He sensed Old Man Li and the rest's aura. They did not go near the bounded zone, but patrolled nearby. Even if what Tangshan powerhouses knew about it, they would not be surprised. It was inevitable for humans to guard against the major bounded zone's attack. Including at North Lake, there were also human powerhouses keeping an eye on the area near the void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven to prevent accidents. In reality, they were only there to report. If Jueping really wanted to attack, they could not stop him. Sensing Old Man Li and the rest, Fang Ping quickly transmitted his voice. "I'm here. You guys leave quickly." The next moment, Old Man Li replied, "Are we leaving now? Do you need help? Why don't we help you guard the outside to prevent people from escaping?" Fang Ping thought for a while and said quickly, "All right, the few of you don't split up. If there's an accident, join forces and fight." If these few people joined forces, even if they encountered Jueping, they could still resist for a while, let alone kill the enemy. Fang Ping was also worried that something might happen here at Huatangshan. Destroying Luofu Mountain was smooth, but it did not mean that other places would be as smooth. Having said that, Fang Ping did not stay any longer and disappeared instantly. As soon as he left, Old Man Li and the rest looked at each other from afar, shocked. Luofu Mountain was destroyed. Otherwise, Fang Ping would not have arrived so quickly. It was very smooth. Moreover, Fang Ping's strength was beyond imagination. Luofu Mountain was guarded by a Jueping. At this moment, the few of them still did not know that Luofu Mountain did not have one Jueping, but two, Huatangshan, below the 10 major grotto heavens, the first of the 36 grotto heavens, compared to Kuokang Mountain, which was the last of the 10 major grotto heavens. Huatangshan's strength was not inferior. Emperor Huatangshan's strength might be slightly stronger than Gong Juanzi's. Of course, Gong Juanzi's strength back then was in mentality and source world. Martial artists with strong mentality and source world were sturdy and huge. If he was really pulled into the source world by the other party, Emperor Huatangshan might not be Gong Juanzi's match. At this moment, Huatangshan was not idle either. Huatangshan knew about the war in the outskirts. This time, it was not just a war in one area. Many outskirts were fighting. In the huge main hall of the Sky Palace, the seventh elder who stayed behind at Huatangshan, an old man with white hair and beard, was frowning. Fellow disciples, now that the human world is in turmoil again, Fang Ping initiated a war, the seventh elder's side. After the sect leader left, I'm the only one keeping watch in the sect. My strength is not even comparable to true Lord Dizhou. If Dizhou is killed, once Fang Ping targets Huatangshan, we'll be in trouble. Below, a young powerhouse said in a low voice, "Seventh Elder, it's better to strike first. Why don't you let me bring Huatang's elite guards to aid the fake dynasty and eliminate the martial artists in the human world? Elder, contact all parties, clarify the pros and cons, look for opportunities to kill Fang Ping. Then we won't be in such a sorry state." Now, because they were worried that the human world would take revenge, the sect was sealed. However, this was a world of great change. Sealing the mountain gate now would be a big problem. The young man understood that if they did not seize the opportunity to become stronger now, there might not be a chance in the future. Sealing the mountain gate for 1 or 2 days was fine. Did they really have to seal it until the great change came? "Master," below, a young woman said, "Eldest senior brother is right. If we continue to seal the mountain now, it's no different than waiting for death." The outer sect demons have sent news that the human martial artists are actually monitoring us outside the sect. The woman said angrily, "If this goes on, Huatong's lineage can't leave the mountain. Are we going to stay in the mountain gate like this?" Wangwu, Weiyu, and a few other grotto heavens have already sent their disciples out to gain experience. The strong will always be strong. We and the three grotto heavens of Luofu have many true gods. Now the human world is still fighting with the fake dynasty. The divine sect has also formed a death grudge with them. Now, the divine sect wants to attack, but is afraid of being ambushed by us, so they dare not act rashly. However, if Master contacts all parties and convinces Luofu, Su Ling, and a few other places to attack together, killing Fong Ping will be extremely easy. The old man sighed. "You're right. However, Netherworld King is still in the dark. If we don't get rid of Netherworld King, who would dare to attack Fong Ping?" The divine sect said they want to deal with Netherworld King, but Taoist Feng Yun and Thunder Emperor have not appeared yet. The divine sect is also ambitious. How will they act according to the agreement? No one knows if they are deliberately letting us attack and watching us fight with Netherworld King and Fong Ping. Speaking of Netherworld King, the woman frowned too. However, she quickly said, "Master, I'm thinking, is Netherworld King really still in the human world?" The old man was puzzled. The woman's eyes darted around. She muttered, "Everything is just what Fong Ping said. From the beginning to the end, we have never seen Netherworld King. We also have news about the battle that day. Under that kind of situation, Netherworld King left alone. Would the other parties not have anyone left to suppress Netherworld King? Everyone knows that the human world is our biggest enemy because the human world is the key to the great changes." The woman continued, "If that's the case, why would they let Netherworld King stay and strengthen the human world's forces? Also, the previous list of the human world is full of mistakes. True Lord Earthly Zhou is not on the list. As far as I know, there are also a few mistakes. This means that the list is not reliable." As the woman spoke, she said in a low voice, "So, I suspect that everything is a cover. Netherworld King is not in the two worlds at all. But when the list was released earlier, that kind of power can't be done unless it's an emperor level." The woman laughed. "Master, as long as the arrangements are done properly, and Fong Ping has the divine peeking mirror, it's not impossible. I've checked some of Fong Ping and Netherworld King's stories. If Netherworld King is really in the human world, I think Fong Ping will only be more domineering than he is now." "You're saying Netherworld King is not in the human world at all?" The old man's eyes flickered. If that was the case, everyone was deceived by Fong Ping? Right now, all parties were reluctant to join forces. Unwilling to be the first bird to stand out, 80% of the reason was because of Netherworld King, a hidden emperor-level powerhouse. This was a point that everyone was extremely worried about. But what if Netherworld King was not here? In the huge human world, Fong Ping was the only one. Fong Ping, on the other hand, had many divine weapons, divine peeking mirror, god-slaying saber. This was not a good thing. In fact, he was a thorn in all parties' sides. However, everyone was afraid. However, if it was confirmed that Netherworld King had also left, thinking of this, the old man muttered, "Now that those who know about what happened that day have already entered the heavenly cemetery, it's difficult to prove it. However, if the human world is in danger and Netherworld King still does not appear, it means that Netherworld King is really not here." The old man thought for a while and said, "I will negotiate with the divine sect and quickly find out whether Netherworld King is here or not. You guys don't have to worry. If Netherworld King is really not here after we kill Fong Ping, the human world will be everyone's training ground." The old man laughed. I heard that the human world's Taoism is loosening. If everyone goes to the human world to train, perhaps you can break through realms very quickly and achieve the position of a true god. Now, it's not just us who are watching the human world. Beyond Avalon, other grotto heavens, overseas immortal islands actually see the human world as the best place to train. In the future, the human world will be the important place for everyone to break through realms, turning the human world into the Azura domain, the important place for everyone to break through realms. This is also something that everyone is willing to do. The human world was very important. At least it was really important now. Powerhouses from all sides wanted to train there. Their powerhouses from all sides would gather, establish a branch of the sect, recruit disciples, let the human world bloom, and turn it into a heavenly realm to break through realms. This was actually someone's plan a long time ago. It was just that it was somewhat unexpected. First it was King Wu, then it was Fong Ping, shattering everyone's beautiful dreams time and time again. Otherwise, according to the plan, the human world now would be the battlefield of the ancient people. Breaking through realms in the catacombs was very difficult. In the human world, perhaps after a few killings, one could achieve Tao. Hearing the old man say this, everyone was also extremely happy. The young man who spoke earlier said arrogantly, "Elder, outside the sect, there are a few human martial artists spying on us. Why don't you let me bring some people to kill them?" Li Changsheng is known as the first among rank 9, but that was ranked by Fong Ping. I don't believe that Li Changsheng is stronger than us. Even Ling Xiao is only ranked 2nd, and Ling Xiao was a true god powerhouse back then. The old man laughed. There's no rush. We can't move now. If we move, Hua Tongshan will become a target in the human world. We will make a move, but we won't be a sandpiper. If we don't move, we will definitely kill him. If Fong Ping doesn't die, killing Li Changsheng won't have much effect. It will only add to Hua Tongshan's troubles. The young man was a little disappointed. Beside him, the woman said with a smile, "Eldest senior brother's combat strength is unparalleled. Fong Ping is a junior. How would he know how strong senior brother is? It's funny that Fong Ping only ranked senior brother 15th on the list. He's a short-sighted person." The woman smiled like a flower and continued. Hua Tongshan's relentless sword was as famous as Ling Xiao that year. When senior brother became famous, Wei Yu, Jiang Kuei, and the others were still children. How could they be above senior brother? At this moment, the old man above frowned slightly. "Someone go and see what's happening at the end of the spirit spring. I think I sense something unusual." "Yes, elder." Very soon, someone went to carry out the order. The old man waited for a moment, his mentality spreading out. He quickly retracted it. He was a little paranoid, but he did feel something unusual just now. At the same time, Fong Ping hid in the void, squeezing the meatball in his hand. "I was almost tricked by you guys. A true god is a true god indeed. You can still cause trouble for me even at this time." Fong Ping transmitted his voice, then laughed. "Luckily, I discovered it quickly. Otherwise, it would be troublesome this time. Say, if I don't kill you now, will you guys have a chance to turn things around? I've watched TV and novels. If the villain doesn't kill the protagonist will escape from death. After that, they will have many miraculous encounters and finally kill the villain, killing the devil. Am I the devil, nurturing a tiger that will cause trouble?" Fong Ping transmitted his voice with a smile. Yes, he was a devil now. 3rd elder and 9th elder were the typical template of the protagonist. The sect was destroyed, leaving behind a wisp of mentality. If they turned things around, killed him, and strengthened the sect, would that not be a good story? The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he deserved to die. It's a pity I'm a little strong. Both of you wait for the opportunity with peace of mind. If you rebel now, I'll kill you straight away. You won't have a chance to turn things around. If you want to cause trouble, you have to wait until I'm injured or defeated. That's a good opportunity, isn't it? Fang Ping taught them by example. He laughed. Or wait until I sneak into the other party's side. Then you guys cause trouble. That'll be even more dangerous. Now that you've come to cause trouble, you've attracted my attention. Both of you, your IQ is really low. You don't have enough forbearance. Fang Ping sneered and said quickly, not too strong. It seems that Huatangshan is still inferior to Luofu Mountain. There's only one paragon in the sect. I'm confident that I can defeat him head-on. This assassination, he's dead for sure. Both of you, I'll try to let him meet up with you later. You haven't seen an old friend for so many years. I'm afraid that you'll miss him too much. Fang Ping teased them for a while and relaxed. When the paragon withdrew his mentality, he flashed and rushed toward the heavenly palace. After killing this paragon, the others were nothing to worry about. Next, he just had to focus on dealing with the void, Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. As for the evil sects, they might not be able to make it this time. They were lucky. He would settle the score with them after destroying the 3 major territories. Fang Ping felt that the evil sects would not make it this time. He even felt that many of his arrangements were useless. At this moment, true Lord Earth wisdom was getting closer and closer to the southern 24 regions. Along the way, true Lord Earth wisdom's speed was extremely fast. He was also excited. Wang Jinyang and the other 2 had entered the southern 24 regions. This time, they might be able to obtain 3 divine weapons. How could true Lord Earth wisdom not be excited? Chapter 1052. Impersonating someone else to get close to him. That's going to be difficult. Fang Ping was still thinking of ways to get close to him on Huatangshan's side. However, most of them were gathered in the main hall. The rest of the weaklings who were not qualified to get close to the paragon. These guys are having a meeting. When will it end? Fang Ping was hiding under the arch bridge outside the main hall, eavesdropping on their discussion. In the hall, a rank 9 youth was flirting with a woman, bad-mouthing him. That relentless sword guy was very arrogant, saying that the human world was not worth mentioning, and that he should find a chance to kill him. After listening for a while, Fang Ping's gaze flickered. The other party wanted to test Li Zhen's presence. As expected, as time went by, someone noticed something unusual. That won't do. Commander Li is something I use to scare people. Without Commander Li hiding in the dark, some things will be very difficult to do. After this, I have to find a way to make Commander Li reveal his whereabouts. Fang Ping was getting impatient as he thought about it. This could not go on. These guys were very talkative. Who knew when the meeting would end? Do I have to kill him? Fang Ping felt that the other party had a vitality close to 1,000,000. In terms of ability, he was about the same as Fang Ping. It was not easy to kill an opponent about the same level. Accidents might happen if he killed him by force. Fang Ping was confident that he could exhaust him to death. The key was that the other party did not want to waste time with him. It's a pity that my materialization has merged with the source world. I can't trap people anymore. No, maybe I can try to separate it. If I can materialize it again or merge it, it'll be much more convenient. His sun city could not be materialized now. After merging with the source world, it was almost one. However, Fang Ping did not have time to experiment. He had tried a few times before, but it did not work. He guessed that he would have to wait until Sun City had completely merged with him. Part of Sun City was still an illusion now. It had not been merged. What should I do? Fong Ping was anxious. He was in a hurry. Got it. Fong Ping's silhouette flickered and disappeared. In the main hall, Elder Seven's eyes flashed with suspicion again. Was there a commotion outside? Why did he feel uneasy today? While he was thinking, someone exclaimed in the distance. Soon, someone shouted, "The demonic beasts of the Myriad Demon Garden are rioting." Almost all grotto heavens and blessed lands had places where demons were kept. Some were used as ornaments, some were used as mounts, and some were simply raised to be killed and eaten. Huatong Mountain's Myriad Demon Garden also reared some demons, but they weren't very strong and had always been very docile. Why did they suddenly rebel? The seventh elder scanned the area with his psychic sense and snorted. His pressure burst forth, and the 10,000 demon garden, which was dozens of miles away, instantly fell silent. Absolute intimidation. Just as he finished intimidating them, the demons suddenly rioted again. At this moment, he actually ignored the pressure of the absolute centipede. The one in charge of guarding Myriad Demon Garden was a rank 7 martial artist. At this moment, he panicked again. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with the demons. It seems like their spiritual consciousness has been damaged. Hearing this, the seventh elder could no longer sit still. Without any hesitation, Zhang Xian soared into the sky and rushed over. Seeing this, the others also hurried over. After a while, the seventh elder rushed over. His spiritual power erupted and swept in all directions. A large number of demons were crushed to death. The others also began to quiet down. At this moment, the martial artist guarding at the side also heaved a sigh of relief. Looking at the seventh elder, he bowed and said, "Greetings, elder. What's going on?" Just as the seventh elder said that, he suddenly felt that something was not right. What was wrong? The seventh elder still had not figured it out. Beside him, the woman also frowned, looking at the martial artist guarding. Something was wrong. Yes, there was actually no problem with Fong Ping calling him elder. The other party was a real elder. However, the guy guarding Myriad Demon Garden was the disciple of one of the seventh elder's disciples. Usually, when they saw him, they would call him Grandmaster. Just now, although the few of them felt a little awkward, they really did not realize anything. At this moment, the martial artist that Fong Ping was disguised as seemed to know that something had gone wrong. Without another word, he slashed with his saber. The speed was extremely fast. The seventh elder had just felt that something was wrong. At this moment, he reacted extremely quickly, retreating rapidly, stepping through the void. Uffed. Fong Ping's slash was slightly off target. The other party's arm fell off. His face was full of fear, but he did not suffer a serious injury. At this moment, the moment Fong Ping closed his eyes, there was no time for him to waste. The moment Fong Ping broke in, the god-slaying saber slashed at the other party's dao. Crack! A crack appeared, but it was not cut off. Fong Ping did not stay any longer, appearing in a flash in the blink of an eye. Holding the saber, he broke through the air as if he had teleported. "You are." The seventh elder did not even have the chance to speak. Fong Ping attacked aggressively, taking advantage of his weakness to take his life. He did not expect things to go smoothly all the time. Fortunately, this elder was not too powerful. He was only on par with him. Moreover, Fong Ping had the upper hand. First, he cut off one of his arms, not giving him a chance to recover. Then, he injured his origin. Under the superposition, the other party's combat strength was also greatly reduced. "You are Fong Ping?" At this moment, a shocked An angry voice rang out. It came from the relentless sword. Fong Ping did not even bother with it. Instead, a saber glare swept over. Uffed. The other party did not even have time to dodge, and was directly cut in half by the saber glare. At this moment, only then did Fong Ping let out a humph. Trash, who are you fighting with? You still want to kill me? Kill old man Li. If you don't have a mirror at home, can't you go to someone else's house and look in the mirror? Everyone was stunned. At this moment, the woman who had been speaking with confidence and composure suddenly let out a scream. Her senior was dead, killed by Fong Ping's saber glare. Endless fear rose within her. At this moment, the only thought in the woman's mind was to run. However, Fong Ping did not care at all in this battle. Rumble. The aftermath of the battle reached them. These people were too close to them, two peerless powerhouses engaged in a life and death battle, and these people actually came within a few dozen meters. Of course, they could not be blamed. It could only be said that Fong Ping's intrusion was too unexpected. At such a close distance, even a rank 9 would die if touched by the aftermath of the battle between two powerhouses. Not to mention, Fong Ping did it on purpose. Rumble! With a loud explosion, the woman was blasted into pieces directly. The two people who were chatting in the hall just now died in an instant. At this moment, Fong Ping also laughed. A bunch of trash. Do you think you are worthy of mentioning my name? Old thing, surrender now. I won't kill you. Otherwise, you will die today, without a doubt. The seventh elder's eyes were ice cold. He gritted his teeth and said, Fong Ping, Huatong Shan, have no grudges against you. Do you believe it yourself? Fong Ping erupted quickly. The god-slaying saber technique condensed into a long vitality dragon, quickly entangling the other party. He roared, Do you want Huatong Shan to die? I have no intention of killing you. This time, I'm only here to seek cooperation. Humph! The seventh elder almost died of anger. Cooperation? How could there be such cooperation? He sneaked in and attacked him directly. If it were not for his good luck, he might have been severely injured by Fong Ping in an instant. Now, he actually said cooperation? Fong Ping shouted, Don't doubt me. Strength is the basis of cooperation. I have already reached an agreement with Luofu Mountain. The two Luofu Mountain elders, third elder and ninth elder, have agreed. As soon as he finished speaking, two tokens appeared in front of Fong Ping. This is the proof given to me by the two Luofu Mountain elders. Proof of cooperation. Old man, you really don't want to consider it. The seventh elder, who was suppressed by him, had a slight change of expression. It was true. This kind of true God-level elder token would never be given to an outsider easily. The two Luofu Mountain elders. He did not know that third elder was still alive, but Fong Ping knew. Did this guy really reach an agreement with Luofu Mountain? Very soon, the seventh elder's expression changed slightly. Or did he ambush Luofu Mountain? Fong Ping said loudly, Old man, the two Luofu Mountain elders are extremely powerful. They have agreed to rent together. Are you still not going to agree? The hatred between you and us humans is because your sect leader attacked the martial king. But this is nothing. In the face of benefits, everything is worth it. Fong Ping said loudly, Do you know why Luofu Mountain agreed to cooperate? Fong Ping said to himself, First, to eradicate the threat of the divine sect. Second, the divine sect has the remains of the celestial emperor. His Tao has not disappeared. He can inherit the celestial emperor's Tao. This is absolutely true. If it's false, I will never become an emperor in this life. If you don't believe me, you can find a way to verify it. It's absolutely true. Because of this, the divine sect is powerful. We can't let them become more powerful. We must destroy everything. Fang Ping's attack speed slowed down. He snorted coldly. If I can destroy you, then I will. If I can't, then I'll cooperate. It's that simple. If you don't have the strength, then you deserve to die. If you have the strength, then you can cooperate and get a share. The law of the jungle was fully explained by Fang Ping. If he could kill, then he would kill. If he could not, then he would cooperate. Elder Seven's eyes moved slightly. Fang Ping slowed down his attack. He was much more relaxed. At this moment, he was panting slightly. You stop first. We can talk about the cooperation later. Huatong Mountain was his base after all. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he did not want to escape and give up this base. There seemed to be room for negotiation on Fang Ping's side now. However, he was not stupid. He did not dare to believe it completely. However, the two Luofu Mountain powerhouses were stronger than him. He thought about it. Even if Fang Ping sneaked in, he might not have the chance to attack them. Their cooperation might not be fake. Moreover, there were two people's auras on the Elder's order. If a true god died, their auras would dissipate. The Elder's order would also dim. In that case, the two of them did not die. Since they did not die, it meant that there was a possibility of cooperation. The divine sect had the remains of the Celestial Emperor. There was the Celestial Emperor's Tao. This was the first time he found out about this. It was also extremely unexpected. You can stop. Fang Ping smiled. But I have to say this first. Those who were killed were unlucky. Don't expect me to pay you a dime. Of course. Seventh Elder regained his composure. Even if he wanted to kill Fang Ping, he still smiled. The King of Man is here. They spoke ill of him. It's normal for them to be killed. Even if one of them was his disciple, that was nothing. If Fang Ping continued to fight him, Huatong Sky Palace would be destroyed. At this moment, Fang Ping's attack speed was getting slower and slower. The Seventh Elder also slowly retreated. He had finally passed this hurdle. He did not expect Fang Ping to sneak into Huatong Mountain. He must be careful next time. At this moment, Fang Ping suddenly looked behind him and shouted. He agreed to cooperate. The two of you don't attack. At this moment, Seventh Elder's fear was at its peak. Behind him, there were two rather familiar auras, Luofu Mountain's Third Elder and Ninth Elder. He was almost scared out of his wits. These two people were stronger than him. Now that they suddenly appeared behind him, how could he not be afraid? Fang Ping roared, "Come to me." He agreed to cooperate. Seventh Elder did not want to care. He only wanted to escape. He was no match for the two people behind him. He did not dare to approach Fang Ping. However, at this moment, two auras, one on the left and one on the right, were chasing him from both sides. He had nowhere to run. He could only go to the front, where Fang Ping was. This old man agrees to cooperate. Seventh Elder let out a roar and ran toward Fang Ping at top speed. Was it not enough for him to agree to cooperate? Three powerhouses had actually arrived at Huatong Mountain, but he did not know about it. It was too scary. At this moment, Fang Ping's expression changed again. It was full of shock and anger. Seeing this, Seventh Elder became even more terrified. What were the two people behind him doing? He did not have time to look or observe. His only thought was to escape. However, at this moment, Fang Ping suddenly smiled strangely, and then closed his eyes. Under his shocked gaze, his eyes went blank for a moment. In the next moment, on Origin Dao, Fang Ping waved his Chang Dao wildly, slashing wildly. After slashing for a while, Fang Ping quickly fled. Seventh Elder opened his eyes. They were full of anger. Fang. As soon as he said that, Fang Ping revealed a look of fear again. This time, Seventh Elder did not believe it. He firmly guarded his mentality and will, fleeing toward Fong Ping's side again. However, the next moment he was stunned. At this moment, Fong Ping stretched out his hand and beckoned. A meatball fell into his hand. At this moment, two heads grew out of the meatball. One was third elder, the other was ninth elder. Both of their faces were full of resentment and anger. Seventh elder was stunned. He was really stunned. In the moment when he was a little distracted, Fong Ping actually broke into Origin Dao again and slashed with his saber again. Crack! After being slashed 3 times in a row with a crack, Dao collapsed. At this moment, Fong Ping panted heavily and scolded, "Such poor mental quality. Useless. I was just bluffing." A paragon was actually so easily frightened. It was easy for him to say that. Right now, 2 emperor-level auras suddenly appeared behind him. Did he dare to turn around and look? Right now, 2 emperor-level heads suddenly appeared in front of him. They were even turned into meatballs by someone. The fellow holding the meatball was his enemy. How could he not be afraid? There was nothing wrong with Seventh Elder's reaction. The problem was this fellow Fong Ping shamelessly used these 2 people as pawns. After 3 times, Fong Ping actually slashed off a section of Dao. Seventh Elder's aura instantly declined. Fong Ping was also a master who took advantage of his weakness to take his life. At this moment, his combat strength was fully unleashed, incomparably crazy. He quickly closed in, brandishing his saber wildly. One after another, vitality dragons shot out from the god-slaying saber, entangling Seventh Elder tightly. In the midst of Seventh Elder's roar, Fong Ping raised his saber and was about to slash him. Seventh Elder had just condensed all his strength to resist when Fong Ping suddenly stopped and once again broke into the other party's Dao and slashed. Seventh Elder was about to go crazy. Fong Ping could actually break into his Dao so easily 4 times. Fong Ping had too many tricks up his sleeves. Coupled with the divine weapon that slashed his Dao, it was really like adding wings to a tiger, incomparably powerful. After struggling for a while, with a crack, another section of the road was broken. Fong Ping. Seventh Elder's resentful voice came out. The aura on his body condensed to the extreme. He was actually forced to self-destruct. Right now, his aura was declining. It was difficult for him to even run. He did not want to be like the 2 from Mount Luofu, becoming a puppet in Fong Ping's hands. He, who had the same combat strength, encountered Fong Ping and was almost played by Fong Ping, forcing him to self-destruct. Fong Ping's battle achievements were enough to shock the 3 realms. He wanted to self-destruct, but Fong Ping was frowning. This self-destruction would not only cause a commotion of the fall of an absolute peak, but Mount Hutong would also be destroyed. The commotion would be too big. "I won't kill you. Your life is not as valuable as Mount Hutong. Hand over all your treasures, and I'll send you to the Sky Cemetery." "Do you think I will? The Sky Cemetery is fake. I was the one who made it. The 9 Emperor Seals were thrown in by Song Mao." Seventh Elder was stunned again. Fong Ping roared, "Li Shun is not in the human world. He isn't Song Mao." His mind was shaken. Seventh Elder only felt that he was like a child today, too easily frightened. However, the big news that came one after another really shocked him. The Sky Cemetery was fake. Li Shun was really not here. Song Mao was in the human world. As for Fong Ping, he seized this opportunity and shamelessly entered his Origin Dao again. This time, it was the Origin world. Fong Ping's world descended instantly, smashing Seventh Elder's world into pieces. "Fong Ping, I will no longer..." Seventh Elder went crazy. He wanted to say that he would no longer believe Fong Ping. He was dumbfounded. He was actually shocked by Fong Ping. However, at this moment, Fong Ping once again disappeared from his origin world. In the next moment, he grabbed his head and crushed it with a crack. A punch blasted out, scattering the opponent's gathered energy. Fong Ping's speed was too fast. This was also related to Seventh Elder's heavy injuries. He was actually unable to resist. Fong Ping blasted his flesh and grabbed his mentality in an instant. He kept hacking with the god-slaying saber, leaving behind a small piece of mentality. He grabbed it and forcefully pressed it into the meatball. At this moment, Fong Ping seemed to be a little exhausted. It was too dangerous. This guy almost self-destructed. He was depressed. He was actually afraid of the enemy self-destructing. However, he had to admit that he had made history. He, a non-absolute peak, had captured 3 desperation powerhouses alive. Captured alive. Defeating them was the easiest. Killing them was very difficult. Capturing them alive was as difficult as ascending to heaven. Even an emperor level might not have the confidence to capture a paragon alive. Today, Fong Ping did it. Moreover, he had taken care of 3 at once. At this moment, there was an additional head on the meatball. 3 heads. Seventh Elder's expression was the same as the 2 from Mount Luofu. Resentment, unwillingness, anger. However, Fong Ping smiled and said, "Don't worry, it's just the 3 of you. I'll go directly to the void, Mausoleum Grotto Heaven, and set off fireworks. The 3 of you don't fight for territory. It's fine with 3 heads, but it'll be difficult with 4. After saying that, Fong Ping's speed was extremely fast. One after another, his indestructible clones appeared. He himself was also extremely fast, killing those Huatongshan powerhouses who were escaping. The screams were endless. This time, Fong Ping did not do what he did at Mount Luofu. His fight with Seventh Elder earlier had caused quite a commotion. It would easily attract the attention of some powerhouses. Although he and Seventh Elder were fighting in the bounded domain, he still had to be on his guard. Fong Ping went all out. Dealing with these martial artists who were below the paragon level was a piece of cake. At this moment, someone seemed to want to open a passageway to escape to the human world. However, Fong Ping had long sensed the spatial fluctuations. He quickly rushed over and killed everyone. Fong Ping glanced at the passageway that had opened a gap. He seemed to have sensed Earth's aura. He frowned slightly. As expected, these places all had passageways that led to Earth. Usually, it was just that they were not opened. Once they were opened, it would be hard for people to notice if they suddenly entered Earth. However, Fong Ping also sensed something. Opening the passageway consumed a lot of energy. This required the support of this formation. If the bounded domain was destroyed and this place was blown up, these passageways would naturally disappear and could not be opened again. I'll blow up Mount Luofu, and this place later. At this moment, Fong Ping had already killed all the Huatongshan powerhouses. He was ready to start collecting the spoils. Naturally, the main hall was the first. Fong Ping's storage ring and space, including the Combat Heavenly Palace, were almost full. However, Fong Ping was not worried. He continued to expand the space. His wealth would increase later anyway. At this moment, Fong Ping's wealth was still around 40 billion. Fong Ping was also extremely generous. He directly used up 10 billion points to expand the space by 200,000 cubes first. He could almost take away the compressed main hall. After taking away the main hall, naturally, there would be wealth. Fong Ping expanded the storage space. At this moment, the storage space was as high as 2 million cubes. Fong Ping's big hands swept, compressing the main hall madly. He compressed the main hall into a metal block and threw it directly into the storage space. After waiting for a while, Fong Ping was just about to continue collecting the spoils. Suddenly, his expression changed slightly. His wealth did not move. What's wrong? Delayed. Fong Ping scanned his surroundings quickly. There was also an old antique in Huatongshan. After scanning for a while, he did not find anything unusual. What's going on? Fong Ping's gaze changed. I'm in danger. What danger? Where did it come from? Nearby, there was a powerhouse that could threaten his life, and it was hostile toward him. Who is it? Fong Ping's heart trembled. An accident had happened. Who was nearby? If it was not within the bounded domain, could it be outside? At this moment, Fong Ping dared not break the wall to investigate. He had to be careful. At the same time, in the void near Old Man Li and the others in a crack, Earth Wisdom frowned slightly, looking toward the bounded domain. She had rushed over and was ready to attack Li Changsheng and the others, but she suddenly sensed an unusual aura fluctuation coming from the bounded domain, where Huatongshan was, it seemed, a little unstable. Although they were separated by the bounded domain and the Forbidden Sea tributary, Earth Wisdom still sensed that something was wrong. Something happened to Huatongshan. Earth Wisdom hid in the dark, not in a hurry to attack. Right now, Wang Jinyang and the others had not discovered her. It was not difficult for her to take care of these people. She was worried about unforeseen events. What happened to Huatongshan? Was it related to Wang Jinyang and the others? These people were paying attention now, and they looked nervous. Earth Wisdom's gaze flickered slightly. She quickly took out her crystal bead and sealed off the surroundings. She asked, "Is Fong Ping really still in the human world?" "Sir, he is, and he's even doing a live broadcast to appease the humans." "Did Li Jun appear?" "No." Earth Wisdom frowned. "Li Jun? It could not be. If it was Li Jun, she would have to leave immediately." However, she did not notice Li Jun's appearance here. The Thunder Protector was always at the end. It was impossible that he did not react at all, right? What the hell is going on? While Fong Ping was worried, Earth Wisdom was also frowning. Chapter 10:53. Global High Martial Arts. S keyboard is broken. Please wait for a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 10:54. Inside Huatong Mountain, Fong Ping was wary. Outside Huatong Mountain, Earth Wisdom was also a little nervous. In the mountains, Fong Ping did not dare to expand the storage space anymore. Right now, he still had 30 billion wealth points. Initially, he wanted to continue expanding the space and take away the treasures in Huatong Mountain. But now that he had used up all his wealth, he was in big trouble. There are experts outside the mountain. Who's here? The other party should have discovered me. Then, isn't old Wang and the others in danger? Fong Ping gritted his teeth. He could not wait any longer. Since his wealth did not increase, it meant that the other party must have noticed him, or rather realized his existence. Old Man Li and the rest were still outside. Even he was threatened. This meant that the other party was at least stronger than he was now. Catacombs powerhouses, evil sect martial artists, a grandmaster's martial artist. Fong Ping was not sure, but he was too lazy to think about it. He had to get out. Fong Ping did not go through the main entrance. Just like how he came, he continued to drill underground, just as Fong Ping dug into the ground and entered the Forbidden Sea, where Old Man Li and the others were. In the sky, earthly wisdom confirmed that Fong Ping was still in the human world, comforting the people. At this moment, it gradually eased up a little. It shouldn't be the Nether King. If it's the Nether King, he is stronger than me. He should have already sensed me. There is no need for the Nether King to fear me. She had thought it through. Even if there was someone stirring up trouble inside, their strength should not be as strong as hers. The other party probably didn't even notice him. Could it be that he's not a martial artist of the human world? Are people from other forces here? Earth Wisdom looked at Wu Tongshan again. There was a faint aura of death coming from Wu Tongshan. She was powerful and had a keen sense of life. Wu Tongshan's side was less lively than before. She had seen this scene before, which meant that someone had died. Earth Wisdom watched for a while longer before looking at the people below. Let's not care about that for now. Since Huatong Mountain's Tao did not collapse, it meant that the true god guarding it was still alive. Perhaps it was just an internal problem. He didn't have to think too much about it. At this moment, what he needed to do was to capture these people. The 3 divine artifacts were right under his nose. Earth Wisdom decided to ignore Huatongshan and take down these people first. She was eager to make a move. Underground, Yao Qingjuan's eyes flickered. Among the 4 of them, his psyche power was the strongest, close to 10,000 hertz. At this moment, he felt a faint sense of danger. It was as if a primordial beast was staring at them. Lao Wang. Yao Qingjun chuckled. Fang Ping made a copy of the Atlas of all the peak-level ancient skills of mankind and gave it to you. Where did you hide it? There was a strange look in Wang Jinyang's eyes. All the ultimate techniques. Anyone would be tempted by these words. There were many experts who had emerged from the pinnacle of humanity. Most importantly, Fang Ping did not do this. Wang Jinyang thought to himself, but he smiled and said, "What are you doing? You want it. It's not necessarily a good thing to have too many absolute arts. When you reach the peak, you can comprehend by analogy. It's still too early for us to come into contact with it." As he said that, he smiled and said, "The absolute art is not with me. If I carry this thing with me and get killed, wouldn't that be letting the humans' absolute art leak? Cut the crap. Where did you put it? Lend it to me later. Recently, I feel like I'm about to step into the origin Tao. Perhaps it can be used as a reference." At the side, Li Hansong grinned and chuckled. "Yeah, lend it to us later. Tell me the truth. Did you really not bring it with you?" "No." Wang Jinyang smiled. "What's the hurry? How about this? We'll keep an eye on them for a while. When we get back later, I'll bring it to you. There's nothing to keep an eye on here. Huatongshan is as timid as a mouse. He wouldn't dare to provoke us. It's fine if old Yao didn't say it, but now that he said it, I'm itching." Li Hansong grinned. "Why don't we go back now? We won't leave the catacombs. We'll wait for you there. When you get the absolute art back, we'll wait for you in South Min City. The mission won't be delayed." Old Wang scolded him jokingly. "You can't even wait for a while? That thing can't be brought into the catacombs casually. If someone finds out and takes it away, we'll be in big trouble." "What trouble? Who knows we have this? Do you think Instructor Li is easy to deal with? If the absolute art doesn't come, who can take away our things?" Li Hansong laughed. Hurry up, hurry up. Let's go. Must go." This place was prone to trouble. They still did not know what was going on with Fang Ping. When old Yao spoke, they realized that it might be troublesome. Whether or not there were any unforeseen events, they had to leave this place first to prevent Fang Ping from falling into an encirclement. All the absolute art was right in front of them. Was there someone in the dark? No idea. It would be best if there was none. If there was, even Emperor level would be tempted, because at this moment, Old Man Li laughed. "Minister Zhang's and Commander Li's absolute arts are both here. I've seen them before. Commander Li's sky-piercing sword is slightly better. Minister Zhang's absolute art is too complicated. I really can't understand it," Old Man Li continued. Since both of them are interested, Jinyang, go back and bring it in for a look. It's not a big deal. Right now, those absolute arts are paying attention to Beihu and Donglin. I'll be here. It'll be fine. Since Instructor Li has said so, there's nothing more to say. Wang Jinyang laughed. If it's really lost, Instructor Li, you'll have to take responsibility. Jean Beek. Old man Li scolded jokingly. He moved immediately, saying as he walked, looks like Huatongshan won't dare to interfere this time. That's good too. Otherwise, it'll be troublesome for Fang Ping to enter. They talked as they walked, flying toward the passageway. In the dark, earthly wisdom, who was about to attack, suddenly stopped. Humanity's absolute art, everyone's. Martial King's, Pluto's, earthly wisdom wanted to scream in her heart. She had long heard that human powerhouses would often impart their absolute arts to others. She did not expect that Martial King, Pluto, and the others would spread their absolute arts so casually. Fang Ping, too. He had compiled them into books and handed them all to Wang Jinyang. Who was Martial King? He was an absolute powerhouse who had killed an emperor-level powerhouse. Even saints and heavenly kings would be tempted by his absolute arts, let alone emperor-level powerhouses. Earthly wisdom's murderous intent vanished instantly. These people did not leave the boundary. Instead, they wanted to bring the absolute arts in for a look. These people were too daring. The people below were not moving fast. They seemed to be taking a leisurely stroll. The boundary zone was thousands of miles away from South Min City. They were traveling at a normal speed. At this speed, it would probably take them 2 to 3 hours to return. Earthly wisdom was anxious and hesitant. Soon, she made up her mind. Wait a while. Wait for them to get the absolute arts before attacking. Don't tell me they've discovered me? Earthly wisdom suddenly had this thought, but she quickly shook her head slightly. Her ability was much stronger than theirs. How could she be discovered by them? If they were discovered, once all 4 of them were about to leave, she would attack. If only Wang Jinyang left, it meant that these people had not discovered her at all. When they returned to South Min City, everything would be clear. She was thinking. At the same time, Wang Jinyang and the other 3 continued to chat. They were not in a hurry. They did not use voice transmissions either. They dared not use voice transmissions. Although it was difficult to break their mentality barrier and eavesdrop on their conversation in desperation, it was not impossible. Emperor-level powerhouses had this ability. They could do it without a sound. Fang Ping also had this ability. He could shield his own mentality fluctuations. No matter what, the few of them were just in case. They chatted about some irrelevant things, such as North Lake, East Forest. They would not go to South Min City. They had to stop at a distance of 300 miles from South Min City. I hope it's not Emperor level. It's best if there's no one. If there's really someone, I'm afraid we'll be in trouble this time. They thought about this in their hearts, but they did not show any signs of abnormality. They continued on their way. Not long after they left, Fang Ping's silhouette flashed and disappeared at the place where they had stopped. At the place where earthly wisdom tore open the void, Fang Ping's mentality fluctuated slightly. His nose twitched, his eyes showing anxiety. A powerhouse had come, and he was still following Old Wang and the rest. He sensed Old Wang and the rest's aura, but earthly wisdom had restrained his aura and hid in the void. His mentality was stronger than his. The other party had deliberately concealed their whereabouts, so he could not sense it clearly. Of course, he could still sense it. Fang Ping had already sensed the fluctuations in the void. Someone was wandering in the void, near Old Wang and the rest. Controlling space is easier than me. The other party's ability is at least Paragon rank 5. Fang Ping was worried. He dared not delay. He carefully restrained all his aura and quickly followed. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping suddenly appeared. Chasing behind might not be a good thing. Maybe I can block in front. Fong Ping's gaze flickered slightly. Old Wang and the rest might have discovered something. They were now heading toward South Min City. Maybe he could go to the middle area and do something. Powerhouses would usually be on guard. Sneaking an attack from behind might not be a good choice. Yes, block the way. At the thought of this, Fong Ping quickly broke through the air, turned a corner, and rushed forward. According to his speculation, even if Old Wang and the rest returned, they would not go to the human city. If he ran another 300 kilometers or so, he would be able to avoid some trouble. 5 minutes later, Fong Ping's figure flashed and appeared in a royal city. South Min City had not experienced many wars in recent years. There were many powerhouses, and the city's combat strength was strong enough. This was a Destiny Royal city. The city lord and the city's guardian monster seemed to be resting underground. Fong Ping's speed was extremely fast. He ignored everything and appeared directly in the underground mineral vein. At this moment, in the core area of the underground mineral vein, a man and a pig appeared. The guardian monster of this royal city was a porcupine-like monster with a huge body. At this moment, it was lying on the ground, absorbing energy from all directions. Beside it, a figure sat cross-legged on the ground, also absorbing energy and cultivating. This was a forbidden area. No one was allowed to enter the seclusion grounds of 2 rank 9s. There was no need for a defense system here. If a rank 9 martial artist came near them, they could also sense it instantly. If a paragon came, then they might as well wait for death. There was no need to set up any obstacles. The city lord and the monster were both cultivating with their eyes closed. The porcupine-like monster seemed to sense something. Its huge eyes twitched slightly. While the man and the monster were cultivating, Fong Ping quietly floated in the air in front of them. When a powerhouse with paragon combat strength could completely conceal his aura, it was too easy for him to get close to these rank 9s. The huge porcupine-like monster seemed to want to open its eyes. However, at this moment, Fong Ping's mentality had already erupted. A mentality of more than 10,000 hertz erupted right in front of them, concentrating on 2 rank 9s. One could imagine the consequences. The man and the monster were frozen in place almost instantly. The porcupine-like monster had just opened its eyes. When it saw Fong Ping's figure, there was only infinite fear in its eyes. Under its fearful gaze, Fong Ping blew the city lord's head apart with a light punch. He crushed his mentality with a casual squeeze. Everything was as easy as cutting tofu. A set of clothes similar to the city lord's appeared on Fong Ping's body. His hair grew longer, his aura changed a little, and his face changed too. In the next moment, a real city lord appeared. Fong Ping was methodical. He blasted the city lord's corpse into pieces. With a wave of his hand, the blood and flesh disappeared instantly. It was as if this person did not exist in this world. The porcupine-like monster wanted to scream. This was a human king. As far as it knew, only a human king had such an ability. A human king had entered the 24th Southern Territory. After Fong Ping killed the city lord, he looked at the porcupine-like monster, frowning slightly. Was there a loophole now that there was suddenly no more guardian demons? However, being alive was troublesome too. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping shook his head slightly. If there was a loophole, then there was a loophole. Under the porcupine-like monster's terrified gaze, Fong Ping threw a punch. The porcupine-like monster's golden body was unharmed, but its mentality was hit directly and crushed by Fong Ping's casual squeeze. A rank 9 monster was a rank 9 divine weapon. Its flesh was also a great tonic. There was no need to waste it. After killing 2 rank 9s, Fong Ping smiled. It was time to go out and take a look. At this moment, a meatball appeared in his hand. Fong Ping thought for a while and smiled. To prevent you guys from creating trouble for me, stay in my stomach for a while. It's a pity that living things can't be stored in the storage ring. Troublesome. Under the resentful gaze of the 3-headed meatball, Fong Ping opened his mouth wide and swallowed the meatball directly. Although it was said to be swallowed, in reality, at Fong Ping's realm, the flesh was the strongest cage. Old Zhang could trap an emperor level. Fong Ping could trap a meatball with only a trace of mentality left. It was not difficult at all. Very soon, Fong Ping's figure flickered. Ignoring the greetings of some powerhouses in the city, Fong Ping revealed his aura and flew into the distance. About 100 li away from him, Old Man Li and the others were still flying slowly. At this moment, Yao Qingjun suddenly said, "There seems to be a catacombs powerhouse rushing over here in front." "Huh," Old Man Li said in surprise. "He didn't sense our aura. Is he looking for death?" Li Hansong grinned. "Why would he be afraid of us? Including you, teacher. Your aura isn't too strong either. It's just a normal rank, 9 or stage 5 or 6. The other party's strength doesn't seem weak. He doesn't recognize me." Old Man Li chuckled. "Don't tell me he thinks that I came first among the rank 9 for nothing? You're not Fong Ping. How can he know who you are?" The few of them joked, but they were secretly happy. It was good that he had come. He could help them buy some time. Just as the few of them were talking, Fong Ping shouted coldly from afar, "How dare the revived martial artist do you think you are? How dare you walk in God's land? Die quickly!" Fong Ping yelled, rushing over quickly. About 1,000 meters away, he suddenly stopped in his tracks. There was a strange look in his eyes. He frowned and said, Who are you from the land of rebirth? Tell me your names." "You don't know us?" Li Hansong grinned. Fong Ping stared at him for a while, muttering, "I once heard that there's a martial artist in the land of rebirth who likes to laugh foolishly. He looks simple and honest, but he's really stupid." As soon as he said that, Li Hansong's smile froze. Why did this tone sound so King familiar? Fong Ping cut him off quickly, saying coldly, "Don't tell me you're Li Hansong? Even so, you don't have the right to swagger around in God's land. Cut the crap. Old Wang, let's kill him together." Li Hansong roared, charging toward Fong Ping at high speed. The others did not hesitate either, charging toward him one after another. Fong Ping was also powerful. He was not afraid. Swiftly, he tangled with them and started fighting. In the void rift, Earth Wisdom almost appeared to smack Fong Ping to death. Who was this guy? Forget it if he was courting death. Now she was in a hurry to snatch the treasure, waiting for Wang Jinyang to return to the human world to retrieve it. When would this battle end? While Earth Wisdom was raging, Fong Ping and the others fought until blood and flesh flew everywhere. It was all Fong Ping's. After a round of fighting, Fong Ping was beyond shocked and furious. Longevity sword? Fong Ping turned around and fled. Old Man Li slashed with his sword. The sword chi penetrated Fong Ping's back directly. Fong Ping's aura withered instantly, as if he had suffered a heavy injury. At this moment, Yao Chengjuan's mentality erupted, covering Fong Ping instantly. As for Fong Ping, he was also beyond shocked and furious. His eyes flickered wildly as he looked at Old Wang and the others. At the same time, he roared, "I'll fight it out with all of you." As soon as he said that, his mentality erupted to rumble. The void trembled, but Fong Ping's mentality was crushed in an instant. His eyes were blank, and he fell to the ground with a loud crash. At this moment, a rift appeared at the place where their mentalities collided. Earth Wisdom's figure flashed and disappeared. At this moment, Earth Wisdom was almost angered to death. The place where the two of them were fighting happened to be the void rift where she was hiding. Under the mentality outburst, the rift was broken directly. She did not even have time to move. Damn bastard. Earth Wisdom cursed in her heart. Ruin my plan. He was so weak, yet he dared to intercept Longevity's sword and the others. He deserved to die. Otherwise, I would have killed him myself. She was raging, Old Man Lee, and the others seemed to have just noticed her. Old Man Lee roared, "Enemy! Kill the enemy!" The four of them reacted extremely quickly. In the next moment, all four of them unleashed their full strength and attacked Earth Wisdom. Earth Wisdom did not hide anymore. Since her whereabouts were exposed, there was no point in hiding anymore. She glanced at the useless piece of trash who had fallen to the ground. Anger flashed in her eyes. Looking at Wang Jinyang and the others, she suddenly slapped Old Man Lee's longsword. Rumble! The sword gleam and palm collided. Old Man Lee spat out fresh blood. He retreated dozens of steps, the void exploding as he stepped. Not weak. Longevity's sword, Myriad Das Unite. Not bad. It's a pity that you guys have a death wish. Earth Wisdom's face was cold. She was a level 6 true god powerhouse, not a novice true god. Li Chongqing might be able to withstand 3 to 5 moves when fighting a novice true god martial artist. But fighting with her, 1 move was enough to kill him. After defeating Li Chongqing's attack, Earth Wisdom looked at Wang Jinyang and the other two who had already taken out their divine weapons. A hint of greed flashed in her eyes. Hand over the human true god's ultimate technique, and I'll spare your lives. Wishful thinking. Li Hansong roared, his fist already punching out. Wang Jinyang and Yao Chengjun also quickly coordinated, shooting an arrow at Earth Wisdom. Earth Wisdom sneered, stronger than she expected. But no matter how strong, that was also an ant below true God. Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor, even if he was really an extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor, he was just a reincarnation. It was better if he was real. Only then would there be a greater sense of accomplishment. Earth Wisdom's spiritual power erupted, directly shattering those attacks. Walking toward the few people indifferently, she said, "Coolly, Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor," the Extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor who awed the 3 realms back, then was like this. If that's the case, this seat will be too disappointed. The few people snorted coldly. Li Hansong suddenly turned around and rushed down, using spiritual power to transmit his voice. Dig a hole, and escape." The moment these words came out, the others flew down one after another. Too strong. The few of them attacking. The other party was virtually defeated easily. This was not just reaching the apex. Such a powerhouse. Even if the remnant will to fight was still present, it was likely hard to kill too. Now, they could only bet that the guy pretending to be dead below could be useful. Yes, that city lord below was killed. Died miserably. Until now, he still died with everlasting regret, his head facing the sky. The few people all headed straight for him, wanting to dig a hole and leave. Earth Wisdom smiled lightly. Dig a hole and leave. Voice transmission could not stop her from prying. Did these few people really think it was that simple? That was also underestimating herself too much. You guys want to dig a hole? Earth Wisdom's spiritual power erupted again. There was an additional layer of spiritual power barrier on the ground. In all directions, spiritual power barriers also formed. She wanted to capture these few people alive. At this moment, the few people already landed. Li Hansong wanted to dig a hole, but discovered that he could not break the barrier. His face was livid with anger. He kicked out, kicking the corpse wrapped in the barrier toward Earth Wisdom. Earth Wisdom sneered. Childish. The reincarnation of the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor was actually so childish. With a jolt of spiritual power, Earth Wisdom was about to shatter the flying corpse. At this moment, the other few people's attacks arrived again. This time, the few people went all out again. Old Man Li slashed out with his sword, shattering the void. Earth Wisdom instantly diverted her attention. Frowning slightly, she slapped a palm toward Old Man Li. The others had to be careful not to kill him. It did not matter even if he was killed. The longevity sword was strong, but it was not that the divine sect did not know about the myriad Tao unity. There was no need to insist on keeping it. Just as she slapped a palm toward Old Man Li, the corpse seemed to deviate and flew past her side. Earth Wisdom could not be bothered. However, at that moment, a long saber appeared without a sound. It slashed toward her head without a sound. Wang Jinyang and the rest did not care about anything at this moment. They erupted with everything they had hysterically. The three divine weapons exploded with a dazzling light. Earth Wisdom was about to smash the attack when she frowned slightly, a sense of danger. It came from the side. As soon as this thought arose, the Changdao slashed down. With a bang, her head exploded. As for Earth Wisdom, she left the spot instantly. The headless golden body recovered its head in the blink of an eye. The Changdao followed her like a shadow, slashing down again. With a bang, half of her body was cut into pieces. Earth Wisdom recovered again and left the spot again. Her face was a little pale, but her eyes were cold. She was a powerhouse among the true gods. Even if she was ambushed, it was impossible to kill her instantly. However, her golden body was cut into pieces, and the weapon that attacked had some special effects. Much of her mentality was also destroyed, causing her to be slightly injured. Fang Ping, when she saw the weapon that cut her golden body, and that saber, Earth Wisdom knew who was scheming against her. Fang Ping. He had come to the Earth realm. Chapter 1055. Fang Ping was in the catacombs. Then, who was in the human world? Did a golden body powerhouse change his golden body to be an imposter? But a golden body powerhouse could never seal the passageway. Earth Wisdom was disappointed. There was a true god in the human world. Was it Li Jun? Or was there a true god hiding in the human world? Fang Ping did not waste time talking to her. Against a powerhouse like this, he had to cripple her first before talking. She was so strong. If he did not cripple her, he would not be a match for her. The god-slaying saber returned to his hand. Fang Ping was extremely fast, charging over with the saber in hand. A long sword appeared in Earth Wisdom's hand. A true divine weapon. The two of them fought in an instant. Fang Ping's combat strength was not weak either. His god-slaying saber technique was extremely fierce. Earth Wisdom had just been injured. Now that she was fighting Fang Ping, they were evenly matched. Rumble! The absolute pressure shocked the surroundings. Fang Ping frowned slightly. He had no choice but to talk now. "Who are you?" Fang Ping shouted coldly. "You're not a catacombs martial artist. Looking at your style, you're either a dog of the evil sect or a dog of Grandmaster. Tell me, whose dog are you?" Earth Wisdom's expression was cold. Her sword cut through the air, appearing and disappearing like a ghost, stabbing Fang Ping's golden body until sparks flew everywhere. Fang Ping's golden body was also ever-changing. His body folded directly, and a slash left a bloody wound on Earth Wisdom's arm. The two of them exchanged dozens of blows. Fang Ping suddenly laughed. Evil sect dog. I can see it. Fang Ping, you have a death wish. Earth Wisdom snorted coldly. Fang Ping dodged her longsword and smiled. I was about to look for you. You came just in time. As he said that, Fang Ping's aura skyrocketed. He slashed with his saber and shouted, Don't leave since you're here. Hand over Celestial Emperor's golden body. Earth Wisdom's expression changed slightly, but she could not be bothered to reply. Fuse! Fang Ping roared. In the next moment, the four people below all leaped into the air. Fang Ping quickly combined with them, turning into a giant. At this moment, Fang Ping's aura skyrocketed again. Earth Wisdom's expression changed. You killed Earthshow with this. You're really from the evil sect. Fang Ping laughed heartily. Tell me your name. You're not weak. It's your honor to let me know your name. D. Huey's expression was unsightly, and he said coldly, How arrogant. When I prove my Tao, my ancestors aren't even born yet. That only means you're trash. As the two of them fought, their auras were incredibly powerful. Some of the nearby towns and cities instantly collapsed. The heavens fell, and the earth cracked. In the outer domain, a battle between two experts who weren't considered weak would be an invincible existence. At this moment, Earth Wisdom was extremely angry, but his eyes were not bad. He suddenly sneered and said, Your combination battle technique is similar to the combination battle technique. This seat wants to see how long you can last. See if the few of you can endure it. Fang Ping was fine, but the others were a little weaker. Now, after Fang Ping's fusion, he might have the strength of a Paragon 4 or 5. When she was ambushed by Fang Ping, her strength had declined, and it was almost the same. However, once Fang Ping lost his combined combat techniques, he might not be his match. Perhaps there would be a pleasant surprise today. The commotion was getting bigger and bigger. Fang Ping suddenly laughed. Old Grandaunt, don't shout about fighting and killing each other every time we meet. If you kill me and I kill you, does it really benefit either of us? In a situation where their strengths were on par, what could you really get? If your injuries are too severe, even if you kill me, you might also die. Earth Wisdom frowned. Fang Ping laughed. How about working together? At this moment, only Seventh Elder was trapped in the golden body. Otherwise, he would definitely explode. Working together? Working together again. Fang Ping's words must not be trusted. Kill when you see him. That was the right way. Also, don't think that you can kill me. Even if I don't have the combined combat techniques, do you think I'm that easy to kill? Be careful not to follow in the footsteps of Earthshow. After saying that, Fang Ping's eyes flickered. I like to work with powerhouses. I'm different from King Wu. I prefer benefits above all else. Earth Wisdom sneered. Fang Ping, why should I work with you? What qualifications do you have to work with me? Aren't you curious why I'm looking for you? Fang Ping laughed. Don't you want to become an emperor? Become a saint? Become a heavenly king? Ridiculous. Earth Wisdom did not believe it at all. Fang Ping laughed. All right, then I'll say something. Is Tengu's golden body in your cult headquarters? Earth Wisdom frowned and did not reply. Cat sensed Tengu's aura. Tengu is not dead, do you know? Unfortunately, the aura is too faint. I can't locate it at all. Earth Wisdom's heart trembled. Tengu's path is still there. Earth Wisdom, you know better than me what this means. Celestial Emperor is not dead. Fang Ping was overjoyed when she finally replied. She took the bait. He did not believe that these old antiques could resist such a temptation. Tell me your name first, then we'll talk. As he said that, Fang Ping sheathed his saber and retreated. In the next moment, Old Man Li and the rest were separated by him, panting heavily. Fang Ping's aura dropped, but he did not care. He laughed. This is my sincerity. Let's not kill each other when we meet. There's no need. I've already roped in many people to work with me. You are very important. Earth Wisdom did not chase after him. She was injured. At this moment, Earth Wisdom also retreated a few steps. Imperishable substances rapidly emerged, healing her injuries. I'm Earth Wisdom. So it's the Lord God of Earth Wisdom. I've heard a lot about you. Fang Ping laughed. Since you're not attacking, then we can talk. I think you know better than me that Tengu is still alive. However, its injuries were too serious back then. I'm afraid it's still in a deep sleep. Or, Tengu's Tao has already been stripped by King Kuan. Earth Wisdom did not bat an eyelid and did not speak. Fang Ping quickly shook his head. Impossible. King Kuan should not be able to strip such a powerhouse's Tao. The only one in the three realms who can strip Tengu's Tao is the cat. And I happen to have this kind of relationship with the cat. I know how to do it. As Fang Ping said that, he laughed. Of course I won't do it. I'm looking for you to save Tengu. Let's talk openly. We're just using each other. Let's put it this way. If I can save Tengu, I'll save it. If I can't save it, then you'll have to wait for me to strip its Tao. Let's see who's lucky, who's stronger, who's more scheming, and who finally snatches Tengu's Tao. That's why I want to do something big this time. However, I still can't find the cult's headquarters. True Lord Earth Wisdom, are you interested? Earth Wisdom's expression changed, but she still did not reply. Fang Ping said coldly, Or do you think you can do it alone? Earth Wisdom, don't think too much. Your cult still has an emperor level. If you agree to cooperate, we'll go to the cult's headquarters together this time. If you don't agree, I'll spread the news immediately. Do you think I'm stupid? I dare to reveal all my secrets to just anyone. Once your cult's emperor level knows that I can strip Tengu's Tao, you might come looking for me to cooperate immediately. Unfortunately, I don't like to cooperate with people who are much stronger than me. That's why you're a good choice. Earth Wisdom, let me ask you again. Are you interested in cooperating? Earth Wisdom said coldly. How would I know if you're lying to me? Fang Ping sneered. Is it necessary? Let me ask you, is Tengu's golden body in the cult or not? If you say it's not, we'll continue killing. There's no need to talk anymore. At this moment, Earth Wisdom thought of the Earth King Hall. He thought of the mysterious and unusual Earth King Hall. Even the three great sect guardians could not enter the Earth King Hall. The Divine Masters all knew that Tengu's remains were in the Divine Sect. However, they had always thought that Tengu was dead, and only its remains were left. Although this was the remains of a powerhouse, at true God level, these powerhouses' remains were not very useful unless they were used to forge weapons. But at this moment, Earth Wisdom suddenly understood why the Earth King Palace was so heavily guarded. Could it be that King Kuan had been trying to strip the great path of Heavenly Hound? Until now, the hall was still sealed. Obviously, King Kuan did not succeed. Earth Huey's expression changed, and he said coldly, So what if I'm here? So what if I'm not? Fang Ping, do you think you can break into the Divine Church mainland with just you? Of course it's not just me. Fang Ping laughed. Commander Li is dealing with your venerable Emperor Fengyun, but your divine sect still has another venerable emperor. Of course, I also have allies. Let's attack together. If you, Earth Intellect, work together and sneak attack him. So what if he's an overlord? If you don't look out for yourself, heaven and earth will destroy you. Just tell me, are you interested? If you're interested, then let's do it. If not, then there's no need to say so much. As Fang Ping said that, he said mildly, Speed is the choice. Both of us will make quite a commotion when we fight. I'm afraid someone will be here very soon. When there are more people, the secret won't be a secret anymore, and there will be more competition. Earth wisdom, what do you say? Perfected Lord D. Huey's heart skipped a beat. Cooperation? Become a martial emperor? Become a heavenly king? This, she had never thought of it. But if Celestial Emperor's Tao could really be stripped, she could not imagine if she could surpass King Kuan if she walked Celestial Emperor's Tao. Fang Ping frowned at this moment and snorted coldly. Forget it then. I'm not interested in fighting with you. You can't kill me anyway. You go your way, and I'll go mine. After we separate this time, I'll spread the news to the outside world. I won't let your evil sect reap the benefits. Seeing that he was about to leave, Earth Wisdom was silent for a moment and said quickly, Celestial Emperor is already dead. You said it's still alive because of Sky Thearcha's senses? Nonsense. Sky the Arch and Celestial Dog are one. If Sky the Arch says it's not dead, then it's definitely not dead. As Fang Ping said that, he laughed. If that's the case, the Celestial Dog's golden body is really in the evil sect. Earth Wisdom did not say anything, which meant that she agreed. The joy on Fang Ping's face deepened. At this moment, a piece of jade in Fang Ping's arms trembled. Fang Ping continued, Celestial Emperor's golden body is in the evil sect's headquarters. Let's work together. I'll save Celestial Emperor. If I can't save him, I'll strip his Tao. Then we'll rely on our luck and means. If we can work together, just say it. At our level, there's no need to pretend. At this moment, unbeknownst to Earth Wisdom, in the 3 realms, there were powerhouses whose whereabouts had been confirmed. A huge water screen appeared in the nearby areas. Fang Ping's words caught everyone's attention instantly. Sky Plant's Royal Court, the Sky Elm Guardian, and the Right Divine General appeared outside the palace, one after another. A rank, 8 martial artist was shivering, murmuring in a low voice, Sir, don't kill me. I'm only following orders. I don't have any enmity. Please spare my life, sir. I'm under King Pingshan. The 2 true kings did not speak. Their attention was on the sky screen. Outside Jade Dragon Sky, a true god walked out. Outside, King Pingshan's people had long fled. At this moment, the water screen was still showing. In the Forbidden Sea, a large water buffalo dropped a piece of jade and quickly dove into the sea to escape. A slightly deranged old man rushed over quickly. When he heard Fang Ping's words, his aura erupted instantly. In the nearby waters, some demons exploded one after another. Wangwu Mountain, Weiyu Mountain, including some overseas immortal islands, grandmasters who knew the location. At this moment, powerhouses walked out. In the South Min region, Earth Wisdom looked at Fang Ping for a while and said slowly, You want to go to the Divine Sect mainland? Wishful thinking. It's impossible for you to go in. Even if you can change your aura, you'll definitely die if you go. Fang Ping laughed. The 2 venerable emperors are scary, but it's not impossible. Let's work together to kill these 2 fellows, and then divide the benefits. Earth Wisdom, you're an evil sect powerhouse. The 2 venerable emperors are dead. No matter how dangerous the evil sect headquarters is, it won't be a problem for you to let me in, right? Earth Wisdom's eyes flickered. Fang Ping said again, The evil sect is too strong. The 2 venerable emperors are also too strong. If we don't work together, the Tao will benefit them in the end. Who is Heavenly Dog? The strongest powerhouse below the 9 emperors and 4 emperors, who wouldn't be tempted by its Tao. Therefore, these people who are too strong must die. What about Pluto? Earth Wisdom asked. As soon as she said this, it was obvious that she was really tempted. Fang Ping laughed. Commander Li, to be honest, Commander Li and I are the only humans. After Commander Li dealt with a venerable emperor, do you really have the strength to fight for it? Of course, I'll definitely participate in the fight. As Fang Ping said this, he laughed again. Since you're tempted, there's no need to hide it. I've guessed this a long time ago. Anyone would be tempted. Earth Wisdom exhaled softly and said in a low voice, "You've overestimated yourself and me. The divine sect is more powerful than you think." Fang Ping wished she could boast more. At this moment, he also said, "Of course, I know that many of your master gods are still hiding in the three realms. But so what? So what?" Earth Wisdom snorted. "Some of the top 10 master gods are already emperor level. Do you really think you know whether they went to the ancestral tomb or not? Also, the location of the heavenly emperor's golden body is also extremely dangerous. You and I can't get close at all. Even Thunder Protector can't get close." Fang Ping frowned. "It's that dangerous?" As expected, I knew King Kuan wouldn't be easy to deal with. Looks like he's also set up a big array. But as long as we kill those venerable emperors, we can slowly break the array. Earth Wisdom, tell me, where is the cult headquarters? Do you think I'm an idiot? Earth Wisdom snorted. You said you found other helpers. How can I believe you easily and tell you everything? If we really want to cooperate, I'll also invite some people to join us. Fang Ping, don't think that you're the only smart person in the world. Fang Ping nodded. Yes, you're smart. You're as smart as an idiot. It's too easy to get information from you. There's not much sense of accomplishment. Now, did the three realms' top powerhouses see this scene? Did you hear that? The cult has benefits. Great benefits. And it's very powerful and dangerous. Fang Ping suddenly laughed. Earth Wisdom, the cult is so powerful. Why don't you instigate them? Let these powerhouses annihilate the three realms' top powerhouses. When they're almost done killing each other, we'll come and clean up the mess. How about that? When the time comes, all the benefits will be ours. Earth Wisdom frowned. Fang Ping said again, Don't think it's impossible. I'll leak the news of the Celestial Emperor's golden body, half true and half false. Find a chance and instigate them. There'll definitely be unexpected gains. Even if it doesn't succeed, it doesn't matter too much. Humph, Earth Wisdom said coldly. Fang Ping, I don't dare to believe everything you say. Up to you. However, the Celestial Emperor's golden body is real. The Celestial Emperor's Tao is real. And it's also true that we have hopes of becoming the strongest powerhouses in the three realms. That's enough. At this point, Fang Ping lamented, the cult's threat is too great. There are so many powerhouses. To be honest, all the remaining top powerhouses in the three realms might not be the cult's match even if they join forces. Those idiots actually think that humans are the real threat. They've always wanted to attack humans. Is there any benefit in annihilating humans? Just for a better blood sacrifice of humans in the future? On the other hand, there are many benefits in annihilating the cult. Forget about the Celestial Emperor's golden body and Celestial Emperor's Tao. King Kuan's treasures, Earthly Sovereign's treasures, Earthly Sovereign's cultivation methods. I even know a secret. King Kuan actually secretly collected 100 Tao and hid them in the cult's headquarters. Earth Wisdom, tell me, is there a need for your cult to hide in the dark if it's so strong? 100 Tao. Earth Wisdom looked at Fang Ping, her gaze cold and stern, her heart trembling. The divine sect had a traitor? Fang Ping laughed. Why are you looking at me? I know a lot. King Kuan secretly manipulated a few great wars. Wasn't it to collect the Tao of those who died in the war? He couldn't absorb and store them, and he couldn't carry them with him all the time. Instead, he hid them in the cult's headquarters. If nothing goes wrong, they should be together with the Celestial Emperor's golden body. So, if you and I work together, even if we can't seize the celestial emperor's Tao, we might still gain something. Earth wisdom, vaguely, felt that something was not quite right. Fang Ping had said too much to her. Fang Ping ignored her and laughed. Speaking of which, you people have risked your lives for the cult for so many years. King Kuan has collected so many Tao, but didn't he share a few with you? I know that he has collected those Tao completely. Earth Wisdom said coldly. You want to drive a wedge between me and the sect leader? Tisk. Fang Ping sneered. Come on, nowadays when you cultivate to the impasse, your lifespans are almost exhausted. What's there to talk about? Are you his mother or his daughter? Even if you're his wife, for the sake of Tao, he'll still kill you if he needs to. As the two of them talked, at this moment, those powerhouses who saw the sky screen were all shocked without exception. There were too many surprises. Fang Ping was in the catacombs. Earth Wisdom was in the catacombs. The two of them were actually conspiring together. No, was this a conspiracy? This water screen was right beside the two of them. Who was setting it up? This was not a conspiracy. Someone was plotting against the two of them. Or, rather, one of them was plotting against the other. Fang Ping. In the next moment, everyone understood. It was Fang Ping who was plotting against Earth Wisdom and the Divine Sect. He said so much to tell everyone that the Divine Sect had great benefits and was terrifyingly powerful. If everyone did not attack the Divine Sect together, sooner or later, something would happen. Fang Ping was playing an open conspiracy. Heavenly Emperor Golden Body, Heavenly Emperor Tao, 100 Tao, Earthly Emperor's treasure, Kuan King's treasure. At this moment, no matter how calm the apex was, they could no longer remain calm. They could not care less about Fang Ping being in the catacombs. They only knew that this time, they really knew a big secret, the biggest secret of the three realms. Moreover, everyone had a chance. Some of the apex suddenly let out a cold snort. Around the sky screen, all the people below the apex were killed. This matter could not be spread anymore. The Divine Sect did not seem to know anything yet. Earth Wisdom knew, but it seemed like Earth Wisdom was also ready to betray them. This was everyone's secret, not everyone's secret. Just as they were shocked, in the sky screen, Fang Ping said again, Earth Wisdom, since everyone is working together, why don't you lend me a hand? I can't leave now. I can't leave Earth. On one hand, it's in the catacombs. On the other hand, it's in the three realms. In the catacombs, King Pingshan is my partner. No, Pingshan region. King Pingshan roared madly, cursing wildly. No, I'm not working with him. Damn bastard. I just want to go into closed-door training. I don't want to get involved in your business. Damn it, damn it. This was troublesome. Even if it was not, it was because his people had placed this thing everywhere. Those were his people. But now it was Fang Ping who was plotting against the Divine Sect. And his people were helping. How was this not an ally? King Huai is a good-for-nothing, nothing to worry about. Furukawa and Sky Elm. It's not impossible for us to work together. We're old rivals, and I've even eaten Sky Elm's fruit. It's fate. As for the demons, the Heavenly Cat, Heavenly Hound is the demon's ancestor. The Heavenly Hound's path might be more suitable for the demons. The demons can be roped in, Fang Ping said frankly with assurance. On the other hand, I must annihilate the three major realms. Earth Wisdom, are you interested in helping? Earth Wisdom said coldly. Fang Ping, are you still asleep? She was too speechless. Fang Ping actually wanted her to help him kill the people from the three major realms. What did he take her for? Forget it then. Fang Ping laughed. Then it's fine as long as you don't cause trouble. If we work together, it's a win-win situation. I must annihilate the three major realms. These people have the gall to kidnap my people. If they don't die, I won't be at ease. We're enemies, but it doesn't involve family. Even I, Fong Ping, captured Li Zhu's son for some money. How dare they threaten me with the 3 major realms? What are they thinking? As long as the 3 major realms are not annihilated, there's no need to talk about working together. So, whoever stops me, my only request is to kill them. When the time comes, I'll tell you directly how to strip the Heavenly Hound Avenue. I think I can sell it for a good price. Don't doubt me. I'm a man of my word. Fong Ping chuckled. I'll go to the void, Mausoleum Grotto Heaven now, and annihilate them. Let Huatongshan go first. Now that Huatongshan already knows I'm here, it's not convenient for me to attack. Earth wisdom. Whoever wants to stop me, come at me. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping swept old Wang and the others along and hurried toward the passageway. Earth wisdom frowned, but did not stop him. Only when Fong Ping was almost out of sight did he say coldly, "How do I contact you?" "You're not allowed to enter Earth. You can let the person guarding the passageway inform me." "Humph! Fong Ping, if you plot against me, I'll slaughter millions of your human race." Fong Ping sneered. "Don't be so harsh. If you kill a human, I'll hunt you down until you die." "Plot? Who isn't plotting? If you're not smart enough, just admit defeat." As Fong Ping spoke, he was already far away, but his eyes were cold. "So what if I'm plotting against you?" "It's not convenient to fight you now. After I annihilate the void, Mausoleum Grotto Heaven, I'll turn around and kill you." He believed Earth wisdom would go there. As for how to kill him, Fong Ping had already thought of it. "I'll set off a big firework for you to see and blow you up, you old devil." That you're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.